What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you with another one. And this one is Game of Thrones characters ending. You know, some people loved them, some people hated them. We are going to discuss them. What up to all my people here in the chat rocking with me? And let me say, first off and foremost, let me thank my man Joe the Magician and my man Indie Geek Robert for having me on their channels. This is like a Tony Teflon day. I've been on stream all goddamn day, all day and all. This is like the Teflon con. But you know, it goes down like that. But I am not alone when I do this because my opinion would just be my opinion, and y'all deserve to have other people's opinion. So I am joined by all my people. Let's bring them in. First, let me introduce to you the lady from the Lady and the Don podcast. As always, rocking with the Don, Tony Teflon, is LMR. How are you?
I am so awesome today. We have so many great people here. This is exciting. I'm loving it.
Good. You want to introduce everybody else?
Yeah, sure. Sure. Do I know everybody's names? Yes, I do. Those are friends of ours. Where are we? I'm pointing right there. So over there, Benji from Drawbridge Media used to be things. No, yeah, knows things. Then over here we have Bernie, beefing Bernie. Isn't she just gorgeous? Oh my goodness! And it's amazing to see. And I know you do have different podcasts, right? You have your own podcast with somebody else at a different channel, and you did appear on different channels, so you can find her. Hopefully, she can give you descriptions of where she can be found. We have AK. Always awesome to see her. Great friend of ours. And then where are we? I can do directions. And we have Sanrixian, an amazing artist. Yeah, and I guess those are like the most horrific introductions. But yeah, there we go.
It was done very well. Yes, and Bernie beefing all the time in the chat. Yes, we did allow her on the stream. If she could do this face to face right now, and we know that Bernie is rocking with Sanrixian. They have the podcast that's going down together. If they would like to talk about that real quick, tell us about your podcast that you all just put out.
Oh, Sanray, am I going?
You go, babe. You go.
Well, we're putting out a podcast. It's just for fun whenever we, feel like it. There's no like schedule or anything yet. We put out one episode. The name is Illumination. And you can find us on YouTube and Podbean. And it's just a lot of fun. We actually recorded our second episode. So, we're just trying to have fun with it, man. No stress. Just chilling, having fun.
Just two dorks talking about films and stuff that they like, and we're gonna have guests, and we already have bits. So, yeah, the second episode is on Eurovision. Have any of you guys seen that yet? With Will Ferrell?
The movie.
I have not.
No. Oh, it's great. It's great. So wait, listen to our episode, and then let us know what you think of it.
Definitely do that. Check them out, and I'm coming on their podcast.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we have a special. We have a real special episode. We talk about. It doesn't have to be movie. We're going to talk about a topic when Tony comes on, and it's going to be crazy. So just you wait, guys.
Definitely do.
Shenanigans.
Luke is in the building. Luke, tell us about what's been going on with you.
Well, actually
Benji.
It's actually, I'm actually Benji. I'm the other half. That's all good. It happens a lot.
Did you
nice work.
All right. That's why I had her introduce people, because it's a Sly, right? I don't know but Sly Stallone. So, all right,
that's just
Benji.
Every tag I put it on, but yes, sir. Yeah, so I'm with Drawbridge Media. We cover Game of Thrones under the Drinks and Those Things podcast. We have Stephen King, which is our Floats Down Here podcast, and Harry Potter, which is our Must Not Be Named podcast. And which pretty much we cover all of the nerddoms and everything, the fun kind of goofy stuff. We try to take it a little seriously, but at the same time, our podcast literally is called the podcast that Drinks and Those Things. There's plenty of times we just get hammered and make no sense anyway.
That is what's up. And always the person who usually holds down the Gazette for the design in the chat, rocking with us right now, the Lord Commander, AK-47. What's good with you, girl?
Nothing. Chilling. What's good, people? Thanks for having me on. And I'm here. What are we talking about?
All right, so what we are talking about, we're going to go through character endings in Game of Thrones Season 8, book versus show. And we're going to say first we'll go around. I'll bring up a character, and then we'll go around the horn. We'll start from Elamar down the drawbridge, down San Rixie, and work our way across the Bernie, then back up to me. We'll use that format because that's the way it looks like to me on the screen. And first, I just want to know if you liked the ending, you loved it, or you hated it. So when I bring up the person's name, just say loved it, hated it, and then we'll expand on that first. All right, that's the plan. But usually some things do not work when it goes down like that. All right. So let's start with somebody right off the bat. Cersei Lannister ending. Elamar, loved it or hated it?
Hated it.
Sly.
Hated it.
Sandry.
Hated it.
AK.
Hated it.
Beef and Bernie.
Stupid as shit, man. Stupid.
I gotta agree that I hated it too. All right, so let's expand on it. Why did you hate it so much?
She was pregnant and she was like happy for a second maybe, and then like 6 bricks killed her.
Are we going in order still, or with this once?
No,
I just jumped in.
You could just jump on it right now. I know that sounded a little crazy to the people in the chat. I'm just saying, but I'm just saying you can jump on it right now. We can jump on it. So just go and do your thing right now. Whatever you just jump in there and say what you got to.
Yeah, it was just didn't make any sense. They just kept her around to keep that actress around, and hey, Lena's great or whatever, but they couldn't fucking. It was like Rickon, serpentine, just fucking serpentine out of the way of the fucking bricks, man. I mean, it's just so stupid. It was an insult to my fucking intelligence. I mean, really.
Yeah, it was just complete. Yeah, it was completely unsatisfying because 6 bricks killed her. What the hell happened with the Valonqar? What the hell happened with Tyrion or Arya or not knocking off the list or anything? Anything would have been better than 6 bricks.
The Valonqar like, was 6 bricks. That's what it was. We just all misinterpreted the prophecy wrong. That's obviously what it was.
What was she had like? She had like 20 minutes the whole season, I think, is what it came to, like 22 minutes or whatever. And most of that was just her getting laid by Euron, and it was just creepy. And that was the whole point of her season, was to get laid and then die.
Oh, it's depressing when you put it that way.
Well, let's not forget her drinking too, right? She was right.
Yeah, besides
and yeah,
it seemed like that's all there was though. Like I said, besides the drinking, besides the getting the fingers up the bum from Euron, and Jamie crying and running back to try to get to her side. If she would have taken 5 steps, not even 5 steps, 1 step to the right, apparently she would have survived. So what the fuck was the point in any of this? Sorry, language, my bad, Tony.
Y'all just trying to get me demonetized, but that's fine. So if y'all want to super chat, I ain't get paid on this at all. I agree with all y'all without a shadow of a doubt. Listen, it was just terrible. The baby situation. Now I did hear that they did shoot a baby being, supposedly they shot the baby, not having not come out right, and a miscarriage and all that. But it's Dan and goddamn Dave trying to act like they're better than George R. R. Martin and put their stamp on this shit. And that is the reason why the character is dumb. I hate when you see that in Marvel, when people try to listen, Stan Lee wrote this shit. You can't do it better than him. Don't try to change it. Just stick to the goddamn script. It really ain't that hard. It's not hard, especially when you have George R. R. Martin's work right there. Stick to the goddamn script. Why do you have to try to go, we're going to go outside the box on this one? Stop going outside the box.
Well, she didn't get out the bricks, so yeah, they didn't go far enough out of the box.
No. Oh, it reminds me of that song "Brick" by Ben Folds, and then she lost the baby. Oh boy!
The picture of her and Jamie, it looked too beautiful. Like it looked like when you see them laying there, they look peaceful, like too peaceful.
Yeah,
neither one of them
guys like that.
Neither one of them deserve the pretty death. There is too much blood on their hands. I'm sorry. Yeah. I need retribution for all the nonsense y'all have done. 8 years I've been watching you mess with people's families. You don't get to die pretty, holding each other, saying, "Oh, I love you." No, that's bullshit.
Yeah,
too easy.
She died prettier than some people wake up in the morning. So that was not fair. That was not fair. Like what they did to her. She's a
Yeah.
besides all that, besides the character, she's a great with her.
Yeah.
Did we lose her?
Did we lose her?
She's frozen. She looks beautiful though, right?
Yeah, she does.
She does. Liv,
So
I think
beautiful.
you're breaking up a little bit here, LMR, once in a while, but we
She
heard.
back.
Instead of she woke up like
Okay,
that, she
sorry,
died like that. She died like that.
She died like that. She
Yeah,
died like
she
that.
definitely she should not have died the way she died. She deserved to get
Yeah.
brutally murdered after everything that Joffrey got brutally murdered. It seemed like everyone else got their up, got what they was coming to her, but she doesn't get. She gets a picture.
Am I
So-
the only one that thinks Joffrey should have had a bloodier death?
No, he definitely should have.
I think
feel
he went out
all of
easy.
them got off easy.
I listen, gag
Coughing out blood, right?
It's gotta be terrible.
Marcella's was pretty bad. I'll give it up for Marcella's
Marcella's
death
was
by
only
the
bad. Marcella's the only one that I think didn't really deserve it.
agreed.
I mean, I guess I could slightly give him a pass too, but
But he did it himself.
I needed Joffrey to suffer a little bit more than that.
He suffered more than Marcella. Marcella had a couple of drops of blood come out of her nose and she passed out. Joffrey was gagging. He was gagging. He had time while he was dying to point.
He deserved
Like, he had time to
worse.
point, so he was suffering at that
And
particular.
yeah,
He deserved worse.
You're absolutely right that it was physically worse for Joffrey. I was more making the point of like on my end, the one that was harder to watch was Marcella because it was just at the moment where she finds out, Jamie
It was harder for
confirms.
me because there was no Dark Star. Do
Yeah.
you know how disappointed I was?
I think all
Honestly.
you ladies were disappointed.
I
But
think Dark
think
Star. I was about to touch on that, Tony. I think Dark Star is one of them characters from the book that all of the ladies wanted to see, and they were disappointed. I'm sorry, y'all were that disappointed. It was some people, it was some ladies I wanted to see it, and I got disappointed too, though. So we all disappointed together.
listen,
Well, it's the Val thing for me. It's we didn't get Val in the show, which I
We
can
didn't get
understand.
Ariane either, and she's
Yeah.
y'all, it would have been a Rhaegar moment for y'all.
Yeah.
It would have been a Rhaegar moment for y'all if you did see him. So you're probably lucky you didn't. So you still got that fantasy in your head. All right.
They would have ruined it.
the
moment for
Rhaegar
you.
wig killed me. To this day, I will never recover from Viserys's old wig that had been dragged through the Dothraki Sea, slapped on my boy Rhaegar's head. Nah.
It's not even, I guess I can't comment because I'm not really checking for Rhaegar or any of the boys like that. But just from an aesthetic point of view, it wasn't even the wig. Rhaegar was supposed to basically be the Cersei Lannister of men back in the day. That man was not pretty enough. I'm sorry.
Now, he should have been Brad Pittish, right?
Yeah, somewhere along that spectrum. Exactly.
He's not a bad looking guy. It was just the costume just didn't do him any favors. Like if you see him like regularly, he's not bad looking at all.
Rhaegar
had
supposed to be not bad looking though. Rhaegar's supposed to be sexy as fuck, like panty dropper.
Yeah.
That wasn't that guy.
That wasn't my Rhaegar.
Yeah, Rhaegar. He's supposed to be like Prince. He looks a little more like Mick Jagger. All right, let's go to somebody else. I mean, Jamie and them are tied together, so we'll leave Jamie alone. It should have been better for Jamie. We know that. Let's go. Let's maybe circle back to Jamie. Let's go to Arya Stark. Ending. Loved it or hated it? And Lamar.
I loved it.
Sly.
Are these the only two choices? But I guess
I was gonna say I can
love-
accept it. I can accept the ending. I don't love it or hate it. I can accept it.
All right, we'll go with this. Ask the question, and then we'll go around after. Rixie.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm right where Benj is. Like I'm just like I have no idea what I feel about it. She should have had different things.
All right, you don't know. AK.
Slightly acceptable. Slightly.
Bernie.
I didn't hate it.
I'm gonna say that I think that the actual ending of her going west of Westeros, I can get with it. I could definitely get with it. But the things that led up to it, I cannot. So let's talk about this, Arya. What would have been a better ending for Arya? What would you have liked to see if Arya would ending? What were you rather expected for that?
Or with the
I
wolf pack?
needed her to go and take Jaime's space, or better yet, take Tyrion's space, because Tyrion needed to answer for some shit before his line was over as well. Again, language, I'm sorry. I'm passionate when my Lannisters don't die the way they're supposed to die. Take Tyrion's face, walk up to that broad, and just take care of her. Then the list is over. She was the last one. Sandor was on his way. He was taking care of Gregor. You know, so she was right there. She was right there. You don't take the secret assassin and send her all the way down to King's Landing just to get a pep talk and say, "Don't be like me, little girl. Go home." No, no, sir. That is not how it's supposed to go. Arya is a cold-blooded killer. Okay, and Cersei, let's be honest here. She deserved it. This is the death that I would have been happy with for Cersei. She didn't even, I wouldn't even cared if it wouldn't have been the hands wrapped around the throat. If Arya would have just went in with the stab, fine, story done. And that would have been it. But no, we didn't get that. We got, then go home. Don't be like me with so much hate in your heart. Go travel the world and blah, blah, blah. And she did. This is Arya Stark we're talking about. She don't follow rules like that. What?
Should have used Needle, honestly. Like full circle, bring Needle back one more time. She only technically got like one kill with Needle, I think, and that's the
one kill. And on the way, she should have jumped on Nymeria's back and actually rode into fucking King's Landing.
And that's what I'm saying too. The Wolfpack's my biggest issue with Arya is just in general them leaving that entirely out. And she should have been in control of that and brought that down with the dragons for the Battle of Winter or Battle of King's Landing. I would have loved to seen the Wolfpack taking on the fucking Golden Company. And sorry, Johnny, for cussing. But taking on the Golden Company while the dragon does its thing. That would have been ideal instead of wiping out the Golden Company with just the dragon, just boringness there.
Well, like, not that they couldn't have done it, but why do it when you could do so many more interesting things?
They kind of forgot.
I called it. I don't know who was in a Slack group with me, but I knew that she was going to be the one to kill the Night King. I knew that Dagger was going to be Lightbringer, like they were kind of like substituting shit. The main thing that I have with Arya is Sansa found those fucking faces. And then what did they do with that? Nothing. She never used it. She never used a face again. We never saw any of the magic that, she learned so I was kind of disappointed in that. Because Arya is a badass, and I wanted to see, all the shit that she could do, but we're obviously gonna have to wait for that because they just kind of let her, she was pretty basic after she killed the Night King,
Yeah.
Sammy, yeah. Okay.
I mean, like, she's like my spirit animal. Everybody's like, "Oh, Sanri, you look exactly like Arya." So I'm like, what's this ending mean for me? Like, what does it mean to me? Like, I'm like, I don't know. She's just kind of like effed off like the elves in Lord of the Rings. And I'm just like,
thank you. Perfect comparison. You have these badass forces that come in and they wreck shop when you put them in their element. And you saw what Arya did when she jumped into the battlements. There is a clip that I posted on Twitter. If y'all go back on my wall, you can find it, of Arya coming in onto the battlements, and that whole battle sequence she had put to the music of Avengers Infinity War when Thor makes his entrance. That is how badass that was. But after that, it's a wrap. After episode 3,
she was done.
Arya's skills count for absolutely nothing. Why? You don't stop being a faceless man just because you leave Bravos.
Well, I will say that, Sam Rixian, I've seen you. LMR, where are you? There you
there
are.
she comes.
Oh my gosh.
There you go. Now you're on the bar. You rotated right underneath me.
I'm rotating.
You are, without a shadow of a doubt, every year at the con, one of the greatest Arya Stark's cosplayer of them all. You're the only one I took a picture with, too.
Absolute facts.
And there's no doubt about that. And I would say that, listen, it was a lot of bad things going on with Arya. First off, the wolf pack wasn't in there. You're going to show the wolf pack just to have a sniff Arya, then disappear in the background. What the sense was that? That was just straight fan service. Don't even do that. It made no sense to do that. It made no sense at all. And then when you go from that, her killing the Night King, there was no need for her to kill the Night King. See, what probably happened was they didn't want her to kill Cersei because she already killed the Night King, so they already gave her one big kill. They can't have her killing the whole world, so they took away the Cersei thing. Should have took away the Night King thing and gave her Cersei.
Yep.
It would have been much more satisfying. Who did she get on her list? She had this big ass list, and she's been reciting in her head. Who did she actually kill from this list? Cersei's the biggest name on the list, and she did not even get a sniff of her tail. So I did not like that. And that's the reason why I don't think it's set up. It made no sense for her to do all that list shit in the end when she didn't even get anybody from this list at all, especially the big main characters from the list. She didn't get anybody from it. So I thought that was just not handled very well when dealing with Arya.
Yeah.
She got Meryn Trent and Oliver. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay.
That's right, Benji. Meryn Trent, I think, is the only one that she actually got.
Well, Polliver too. Her with
And
the Hound.
Polliver, yeah.
Polliver.
Yeah.
That's
But
like,
who are they in the grand scheme of
they're
big
nobody. It's no one
Yeah.
big.
Oh no, I agree.
You gotta get a big name. You got all these names on this list. You didn't get anybody. You know what I mean? And the Faceless Men training was was for nothing because she went through all this training for the Faceless Men. She did all that stuff, and for what? Why did she do it? For nothing. For that, she didn't use their abilities, and she was just, it's supposed to be a secret organization. She's just walking around with this bag of faces, like happy-go-lucky, swinging them around. Like everyone in Winterfell knows you're a faceless man. They're all talking about it. Oh, you know what Arya is? She's a faceless man. Oh, no one's supposed to know these things. These are supposed to be a secret. Checking that guard seemed like it was a secret when he was doing it, but everyone just knew what she was. So I thought that was very poorly handled.
Yeah, and also, do y'all really think that Littlefinger is going to outspy Arya? Granted, that's not shade to Littlefinger's skill. Just think about what a faceless man is. Arya is not going to get caught by Littlefinger scheming. It's impossible. But I guess Dan and Dave forgot that too.
Oh, it's very disappointing, isn't it? Because they retconned that whole eyes of brown, eyes of green, eyes of blue to mean the Night King. And I was like, man, just give that kill to Jon. That makes more sense. And then, like Tony was saying, give Arya Cersei.
I think we're going to get to that. Sorry, Tony. We keep going on tangents. My bad, man.
Oh, again, can you hear me now? Is it okay?
Yeah,
that's a lot better.
My signal better? Okay, we'll see. Yeah, for as far as Arya, for me, the only thing that I did like, I was okay with was that after getting with Gendry, she was not like, oh, I'm gonna marry you. I'm gonna be. At least they did not do that. At least that, because if they would be like, yeah, she slept with him and she's gonna marry him and have his babies, like I would have been like throwing up and gagging. Like, please don't even. So that was the thing that I actually was okay with. In general, that she didn't settle for something, that she did what she wanted to do, not what some people might have been expecting her to do. I just wanted to say something. I'm surprised that DA is not shouting like crazy in the comments, because from all the people I know, he is the loudest one when it comes to Arya, and he's not saying anything. So I think he's sick. So DA, say something nice about Arya, because I thought that there's something wrong with you today, because I didn't hear anything from you in the comments. So say something, so that blink twice if you're okay. Just give us a sign. But yeah, as far as Arya, I wasn't happy in general. It was ridiculous. The jump, please. It's like bringing me the memories of where did Spider-Man, swing from? Where is he doing the thing from? So I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah, where is the web attaching to? Is it shot up right in the middle, and he's
what
going
is it?
Two buildings.
What's going on? So yeah.
There's no reason. She had more hops than Michael Jordan out of nowhere, and then she screams like you're coming up behind someone sneaking. Why do you scream at the end just so he could turn around and fight? It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
it was handled bad. It was really handled bad. There's no doubt about it. I think we may have gone off on that. All right, let's go to. And we'll go around again the same way. Unfortunately, Lamar, now it seems like you're last.
I'm the last one. That's okay.
It's fine. All right. How about that? The Hound ending. Did you love it or did you hate it?
I'm actually okay with it. We got Cleganebowl, so I'll stick with. I'll side with love on that one.
Sam Rixie.
I did not enjoy it, but I accept it. It was for the show.
AK.
I am about in that same boat. It's acceptable.
Bernie.
It's I. It was I.
Eh. I mean, yeah, more yay than nay. So
I hated it. I didn't think it really made anything it needed to be done like that. I mean, obviously people wanted to see him fight his brother and everything else, but him just what I don't see the redemption that he got. The redemption to me is not you have to kill yourself to kill your brother, because it was harder to kill the Mountain than it was the Night King. All right, and to me, that's not what it's supposed to be. I mean, we didn't think of the Mountain as the big badness. It was supposed to be the Night King. I mean, that was set up from the beginning, but yet he died with one stab to the gut without even pulling his sword off his back. And the Mountain took a hell of a beating, and you couldn't even stop him. So I just don't think redemption is, all right, I'm going to kill myself to kill my brother, and I'm going to redeem myself. I don't think it should have went out like that. If he was going to kill him, he should have been able to kill him. And then if he's doing something to protect Arya, like throw her out the door, and then he holds the door with his back, and then it blows up on him, and he died. That's more of a ending I would have wanted for him, other than, all right, I'm just going to push you and me both into the fire, and now we're both dead. That's just the end of it.
It's not like they set up, hours and hours of discussions we've had about Sandor's fear of fire for him to just jump off, real climatically.
No, I forget where I heard it, and I apologize because it was a live stream somewhere, but someone said that there was a torch behind him when they were fighting, and Sandor was like getting pushed up against the wall, and there was a torch there. And as soon as he got pushed up against the torch, disappeared. So that fire element of him, he could have been freaking out about the fire, but they got rid of it. And all of a sudden, it was like a coffee cup instance. All of a sudden, the prop was gone. If you rewatch it and look, so the torch is just completely gone. They could have used it. He could have been like, I'm gonna get on fire, get her off, but it was gone.
Or he could have died in the Battle of Winterfell protecting Sansa, and I could have died happy.
Hashtag Sansan.
You know me. Not even gonna apologize.
Yeah, I mean, I'll kind of defend my position on it. I don't disagree that it was unnecessary for the Cleganebowl and all that, and it didn't make a ton of sense. But again, fine. I'll bow to liking the fan service on that one, getting the hype. It's been hyped, and it's been hoped. Book wise, I don't know if we're gonna get it. Because we might end up with just Sandor being the gravedigger from here on out. Who knows? But it's one of those of I'll take the fan service where I can get it, because they were piss poor on a lot of the other stuff that we wanted, that a lot of the fandom wanted, so they gave us that one. I'll take it. I don't know where else, what other ending would have been acceptable. Like you said, maybe at the Battle of Winterfell, or defending Arya, sure, but beyond that, he had to die. There was no Sandor living, just in general.
Should have died for Sansa. Go ahead, Eleanor.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say that I agree. Well, speaking of hounds,
Hi, puppy.
Yeah, he would just won't leave me. And I allow him not to leave me, so it's fine. It's my fault. But yeah, so Hound. I just don't see him. Like you said, Benji, he could not live. I mean, I wouldn't see him having a happy ending. But I think his ending reminds me of that. Not everybody conquers their fears or conquers their whatever. Because jumping off whatever it was, that was a huge jump. I would have died of a heart attack probably. Or maybe would hit a couple things before the fire would get me. I don't think fire killed him. The fall killed him, or not the fall, but the landing, the stop killed him, not the fire. So he didn't die in fire. He actually died by going splat like a pancake. So yeah, I didn't like it. I would have preferred if he would have, I don't know, either conquered fear of fire and then died some other way, or would have been pushed or into the fire where he would burn to death, or just as a reminder that not everybody has a good ending, not everybody completes their arc, and you just die and you don't know how you're gonna die. Example, Marjorie, because you have a plan and then Marjorie thing happens. So
yeah, because they act like they say, oh, the Hound, he's like, oh, Arya, go away, you're gonna be driven by vengeance your whole life. I didn't see this. What drove him his whole life. I didn't see him this hatred that drove him throughout the show at all. You know, you never heard him bring up his brother at all. So it wasn't like he was, oh, I gotta do better than my brother. This was just like brought up for the last couple of like seasons or episode that he wanted to get this revenge with his brother. Really, in the Dragon Pit meeting when he went up to him and said what he had to say, you know, and then just the mountain all of a sudden. I don't know what the mountain was. I don't understand it. Like was he controlled by Qyburn? Because all of a sudden now he got to break this man's head against the wall because he has no choice but to kill him. But in the Dragon Pit, you didn't try to do that. You didn't have this thrive just to go there and kill him, and then just to let Cersei just sneak by. She just sneaks on by, walks behind them while this whole thing is going on. It just didn't work for me. It didn't work at all.
The memes were just terrible. I don't know if anybody else. Obviously, we all have seen probably some of those memes, but yeah, like you say, Cersei kind of sneaking around him. It's beautiful shots. You know, again, reminded me of Star Wars when you have the higher ground and whatnot. But yeah, beautiful clouds and the whole scenery. But nah, it wasn't for me.
Yeah, I didn't like it. All right, well, I think we've beaten the Hound in the head a little bit. Maybe we can find someone that we like. If we find anyone we like, yeah, maybe we could find someone we like. Let's see. Sansa Stark ending. How did you feel about that? Loved it or hated it?
It was fine, acceptable. Yeah, that's about all I can go with.
I liked it. It was. I was happy.
I would say it's acceptable, and I didn't hate it. I'm not particularly for it, but that's kind of where her character was going to anyway. So Queen Elizabeth got to be the queen.
It was one of the better parts. So you know what? I'll say I liked it just because, we got to say we like something here, I guess.
Oh no, Bernie's actually no. I completely agree with you. Not with yeah. We gotta like something. I hope. No, we don't have to like anything. But I was okay with it. She didn't get. Yeah, I was okay with it.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. Kinda. I think they could have did a couple of things to make it a little bit better. I just didn't like the way they portrayed it. Like she just got such a big mouth. Uh-huh. It just seemed like she was, she's just dropping dime no matter what. You know what I mean? I just don't like that part about her, the way they did it. You know what I mean? Obviously, we've seen her gearing up to become the Queen of Winterfell, the Queen of the North, or whatever you want to see throughout it all. But I don't like the way they arrived there from the previous seasons, especially, whatever you want to give her the Ramsay rape thing and everything else. To me, it just didn't make any sense to give her that scene. I understand why you probably wanted to give it to, the actress, but from what you had set up, when you have her walking down the steps like Maleficent in this black dress and let's go to Winterfell. And then as soon as she gets there, like she loses her mind, she's insulting this dude, saying all bad stuff to him. You're just a bastard, talking down to him. And then Littlefinger had told her, you wrap this guy around your finger, and that's what you're there to do. She did nothing at all to try to wrap him around the finger at all. She was just being what she was to Jon Snow. That's the way she was, just looking down on him because he was a bastard.
Yeah, like I said when that part first came up, if Sansa would have taken the route of turning around and pushing Ramsay down on that bed and riding him off into the sunset, she would have had him wrapped around her little finger, because he would not have expected that from this timid-looking creature that he sees as prey. That would have got him immediately, and she just had to stay on that line. But did she do that? No, it didn't work out that way. And we got all the way up to this, and she just turns into like the world's biggest bitch for no damn reason. Like, okay, I get it. You're worried about the North. However, there's better ways to go about doing what you want done. You can be a little bit cooperative and maneuver better with your family. You're fighting with your family right now. I'm not mad that Arya wanted to stab you in the face. I'm surprised she didn't at least give you a backhand, because you're being a bitch for no reason. And that's another thing about Arya. I think she's the smartest person in the world. No, the fuck you didn't, Arya. You never thought that a day in your life. You stop that right now. But yeah, and all the way leading up to this, Sansa to me always was the Queen Elizabeth character. She was always going to be queen in some capacity. I get it, but the road they put her on to do that was bogus.
Yep. No, agreed. And like going back, like you said, a couple seasons back, season 6 during Battle of Bastards, let Jon know, hey, I got Littlefinger in my back pocket here. You know, instead of Jon rushing forward, like the little mistakes that they play off of, yeah, I get it because they started it off early. She's the one that ratted out Ned back in season 1. She ratted out Ned to Cersei and all that, but unknowingly. So they want to make her still that stupid little girl kind of thing. But at the same time, use some common sense. I know you want this Deus Ex Machina, you know, moment where the writers from Rohan are coming in, but you know. Why? You know, why make these stupid choices, these selfish choices, instead of, you know, doing what the right thing, the smart thing to do? And she did it all the way up. Like Jon says, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody this is the information. Oh, hey, Tyrion. Hey, hubby. Got some news for you. You know, right off the bat. And it's like, yeah, so the very end, her Queen in the North, I'm fine with. I like it. But yeah, the build just wasn't there. Just there was stupid stuff all along the way that shouldn't have been, didn't need to be.
A woman in the writer's room would have helped with that character. They just didn't develop her right. She came across as just a bitch. And I hate that. I mean, I didn't want that for her, but that's kind of how it was. I'm sorry, Elmar, go ahead.
No, she was also like you said, they made her to be like all over the place. And I get it. There are people like that who can be all over the place because we, as people, we sometimes don't make sense. We may be like this today, the other way, the other day. But they made her completely, you know, going from one side to the other. And then there was no point to put her through that rape scene. Yeah. There was no point to bring her up and then down and up again. The only thing, and that's I'm stretching it. It's like they want to show that you may, you know, again have plans, but then this happens to you. We know it. We live. We have a life. We know that, but we're not watching, you know, a reality show. We are watching Game of Thrones, so we want some kind of development. At least I want it. I didn't need that scene to feel for her, and that scene definitely was not necessary for me to for her to have like a warrant why she would be whatever sending those dogs on Ramsay just because her brother was killed, just because whatever. So many things were done by Ramsay that he deserved, in my opinion. I'm sure other opinions that he deserved to die. He didn't need to rape her for her to have a reason to kill him. I would have killed him just because he pissed me off. Yeah. Living then, like, okay, you died today. You don't need to do anything to me. I just don't like you today. You're dead. But yeah, so that was unnecessary. They just did, and they know they messed up. I think they do. Although, yeah, anyway, yeah. So ending was good. Yeah.
I totally agree with you, Elmar. That the whole secret thing is what really got me. And I'm gonna say it. I know, yeah, Tony, you're gonna be mad, but Sansa is just like Catelyn. This is why Ned never told Catelyn the true secret, because he knew she wouldn't keep that shit. And what happened? Sansa proved that stuff through 30 seconds later. She talking to Tyrion. Hey, bruh, guess what? This is exactly what would have happened if Ned would have ever whispered, Jon Snow's the one true king. She would have spilled that secret to take the shame out of her own name. It wouldn't have mattered what would have happened to Jon. Just saying. I'm just saying, like mother, like daughter.
I can't disagree with you that Catelyn would have done it. I can't say what Catelyn would have done. I just know what we could go with what Sansa did, and Sansa was stupid. I just don't see why if they're going to set her up to be, you know, Sansa finger, right? That was a whole lesson she was supposed to learn of how to operate behind the scenes and make shit happen behind the scenes without people knowing it. That's what you learn from Littlefinger, because that's what he does. So that was supposed to be a whole. There was nothing behind the scenes that I seen her operate on. I didn't see her set up anything or scheme on anybody or do anything like that. All I've seen her, every time she got information, she blabbed it out. She did everything up front. There was no sneaky business. I mean, she fell for Littlefinger's plot, you know what I mean, to pit her and Arya against each other. You know, that should have been sniffed out. that should have been handled much better. You know what I mean? So they tried to make it look like, oh, we're going to put Arya on trial. Like, no one's seen that switch coming. That was pretty obvious. I mean, I don't know what the show writers was thinking. I know when I seen the scene, I knew that it was Arya wasn't going on trial, that it was going to be and they have her say, "You, Peter Baelish," like, oh, she pulled a fast one. Come on, everyone's seen that coming a mile away. So it just didn't make any sense. They handled a character up to that point poorly. I do believe that the rape scene was terrible. I know what they were thinking. Oh, we have to do it to someone that people care about to make you hate Ramsay more. And that's what they would probably think. Let him rape Theon if that was the case. He could have raped Theon. You could have.
People already hated him.
Theon almost got raped a couple of times anyway. So, if you really need to go that route, you could have went that route with him there or whatever. I don't think
Yara. Bring Yara in for that purpose.
Yeah. You could have had him rape Yara.
That would have been a good one. That's a good twist that would have worked. Not that the act would have been good, but it would have fit for her character, for how they had her portrayed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're gonna have,
and also then the Theon tie-in too.
Yeah, I can easily see them playing on that. Oh, Ramsay, oh, you like women, blah blah. Let me show you what a man and blah blah, rape or do something. I can easily see that, and you get the same sympathy vote for it. So I just don't agree with that. As for the way it ended up with her sitting on this throne, I mean, I just wish she would have been. She would have had somebody with her there. Not that she needed somebody with her there, but I don't know if it ends like that for her in the books. Like, I think it ends similar, but I don't know if it ends exactly like that. What do y'all think? It's going to end the same for her in the books or no?
May I interject just real quick? I'm about a minute late. It's 9:21 and not 9:20, but all hail to Lord Garth. If you know what I know, then you know what I mean.
Everyone should know that.
And as far as our adding to Sansa, I kept thinking she actually never got her hands dirty, and I don't think I like that. I don't think I like it. Again, for me, it wasn't satisfying because she did have, she's a lady, but again, every lady and there's a lady and there's a lady. She didn't kill Littlefinger. Arya killed him with a nice, thing there. She didn't kill Ramsay. The dogs killed him. I would have just loved if she pulled out a knife and just like gutted somebody, or like unexpectedly with that cold face just slit somebody's throat. I would have loved it. And her, the image, can you imagine this queen, this person just, calm and collected, all this rage build up, and she just like kills somebody and you can see the blood on her hands. I would have loved it. Yeah, again. Loved it.
Absolutely 100% right.
Yeah,
I would have loved it.
Go ahead, Tom.
Elamar is just, I would just kill you for the day just to do it.
Just to do it. Can you imagine the blood?
Think about it.
It's gorgeous.
Everybody sees Sansa more as a Tully than as a Stark, and that's how we've always seen her. But again, she does have the wolf blood. If they would have allowed her to tap into that, I mean, think about it. All of the surviving kids, except her and Bran, have legit spilled blood by their own hand, and that was a lesson from their father. So it would have been glorious if Sansa would have stepped in at some point in time and just did that quick. And, and Littlefinger would have been the perfect opportunity. You pass the sentence, you swing the sword. Arya was already done her killing. She was going to be doing more killing. You could have gave that one to Sansa. You could have written it a whole lot better, but they didn't because they forgot that shit.
Yeah, that went out the window, that rule.
I mean, you had it up there with Cersei. Like, everything that she learned, she never did. Cersei tells her, that there's more to life. For a woman, you have more powerful weapon than your tears, right? You're learning this. Like, where is the seductress role? At least when you dealt with Dany, Dany got training from a sex worker, taught Dany. Jump on top and hula hoop them hips. Get that man in love with you, and it worked, right? It
was there, boy.
Khal Drogo was done after that, right? You see Jason Momoa's face, he was like, oh. Next thing you know, he's laying up with he ain't trying to go nowhere no more. He ain't working out anymore. He just laying up in there. Even Margie was able to pull that off. When did Sansa ever use her sexuality to her advantage? Ever? Why teach her that lesson if she's never going to use it? And she never used it ever at any point that she tried to seduce someone or act to get something that she needed. We never seen that out of her.
And she seems broken too. They're showing that once you go through this, again, this is my opinion, what I'm seeing. Once you go through all this, once you're treated like that, once you're raped, you can never find your sexuality. You can never have pleasure in that, because it looks like she's like dressed, like her dresses are up to here. She could have covered herself like with just ears sticking out or eyes sticking out. And she just seems like she's not happy. She's been broken. Yeah, she's the queen. She's, queen in the north, but she is not the same person she was before. Again, it's showing that we can just, lie. You don't always end up okay. And she didn't seem okay. She got the throne, but she's broken. And we don't know the scars under her clothes, because she kept mentioning, oh, you don't know what he did to me. The scars, like literal scars, are still there. We don't see any of that. And she's still suffering. So she didn't regain anything. She didn't take the power. She didn't learn the lessons that she was being taught. She just survived it. She's not living, she's surviving.
Exactly. And the one to your point, Tony, she should have used it against Littlefinger, because somebody asked a question of her, I forget who asked, and she says, I know what he wants. Use what you have. Use that to your advantage. Get him wrap him around your little finger. Then you never put up with the Ramsay bullshit or anything like that, and it would make more sense. But like, to your point, she never did it. Never used that skill that she learned or that she was told to use, because she supposedly learned everything from Cersei, but she didn't take her best advice. That was Cersei's best advice. I'm not saying it's the best advice, but that was Cersei's best advice to her. Use what you have. And so it's like, that point, if you're going to use it against Littlefinger. And then, if anything, instead of, to do the spin thing and have Arya kill him, seduce him in the back room and just gut him or slit his throat as you get him laid down in bed. Make him think, oh, you won. You finally get me. You win. And at that point, boom. Then it would have been a shock to everybody. Nobody would have really seen that coming.
Quick, fast. And I appreciate everything you just said, young man.
I don't know. I feel like she was broken. I didn't really want to see any sexuality out of Sansa. I'm sorry to disagree with you all. I mean, it was just a lot for her to go through. She's traumatized. And I think that's why she kind of, leaned towards Theon, because she knew that is not what he was ever going to look for, and I think that they could just live like a celibate life together. And I think she's just was done with it,
Theon was traumatized too. He went and got some killing done.
I'm sure he's still looking for it. I don't know.
They did Theon dirty. He gets his manhood cut off, and then his sister takes him over there to go see some sex workers. You sit right here, Theon. I'm gonna do my job. Right.
I kept wondering.
Say it.
I kept wondering if there's this people have after being their limbs being amputated, if they have that phantom limb. I wonder if he had a phantom,
phantom dingus.
That was just my thought. Like, I wonder if he feels anything where it's not there.
That's so mean. It's still funny.
I know.
That's a horrible existence, man. Oh,
it could be. I mean, I just think that if you're gonna teach her to be a sexually active person, to seduce people all the way back from the Battle of Blackwater with Cersei, at some point that should come into play. I understand what Bernie's saying, that she was a broken woman by being raped as many. We don't. Obviously, we think that it happened more than that one time. Now, listen, if it was what we seen in the books with the dogs and everything else, then that's a crazy situation, right? But we didn't see anything, and they didn't even act like it was going to be anything like that. So, hashtag Phantom Dick they're putting up there for you. All right. Okay, that's fine.
I mean, she's not wrong.
So that's all. That's all. So I think it didn't really end well for. All right, let's go with somebody else. Speaking of Sansa, we'll go to Brienne of Tarth. Her ending. Did you love it or did you hate it?
Hey,
Hate. AK?
Hey, I'm okay. It's fine. I hate what happened. But whatever. Okay.
Oh, sorry, my dog is going crazy. I did not like it too much. I did not.
I'm going to say that it didn't really bother me. All right. So I didn't love it, but it didn't bother me either. So why did y'all hate it? The people who hated it didn't like it. Why did you hate it?
Because
go ahead, Henry.
Jamie was a piece of shit, man. He was with Brienne, and she could have had Tormund. He was right there, and he was gorgeous. And then she's like, "Nah, Jamie." And then Jamie was like, "Sure," and then left her for Cersei. And it just, what was the point?
Here's my take on it. That man does not define her. Whatever she got, some fuck boy. It sucks, but she was knighted. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And that is so much more important. Like, I really wanted her. Like, I'm a Bramy fan. Like, I really wanted that to happen. But I'm not letting Jamie define who Brienne is. That fuck boy motherfucker.
Okay, so I kind of want to change it because I legit blanked on her actual ending of being head of the Kingsguard, like Lord Commander. I stopped at when Jamie left. Like, that's where it just went. Because they took a powerful, strong female character. Yeah, she got hooked up with the fuckboy, and then they made her weak. Like, they made her, instead of just being like, fuck off, like, instead of her being angry, like she should have been, she was, weak and sad and everything. And I just don't like that from Brienne's character. I do like the final ending, like her final position, Kingsguard. I like that part. I'll give her that. But the buildup of her, just in that instance, is the only thing I hate. The rest of the season for Brienne, I actually didn't mind. Most of her season was good.
Yeah, for me, it's I didn't like it because it's kind of like a reminder that even the strongest people are like she was she wanted to be the knight and she got to be knighted, but then even though she got her wish, her other wish was, I guess, Jamie, and she did not get that, and it did not break her, but it was difficult for her, so it kind of like showed weaknesses in her. So humanity, that there's more to her than just her one wish. She wanted to, that wish of being knighted was very open in public, but the wish of kind of being there with Jamie was very hidden, and that really hurt her. So it was a very, very difficult thing to watch.
I think that when you look at Brienne, I would say that I loved her fighting the White Walkers. She whooped the most ass. At everybody whooping ass, she was whooping the most ass. When she was fighting not the whites, she was whooping ass versus those whites. She was doing her job.
Her and Jamie up against that wall, though. I mean, they should have never survived that.
Yeah, that was dumb. That was dumb. But I'm saying when you seen her just that silhouette just slashing through him, I did like that part. Her and Jamie, the back to back, that it didn't work. Is that the books, the dream that she of Jamie back to back there with the glowing swords? Is that part of that? You know what I mean? I don't know if they were thinking that when they put that there, but that made me think of that. But she was definitely, I like that part about it. Now, as for the end with her and Jamie love her and leave a Lannister, I just thought that was a given that would happen. I just thought that there was no way they were going to have Jamie. Jamie's a piece of shit. And we could talk about Jamie if you want, because Jamie's a piece of shit. And there's no way Jamie was just going to leave Cersei behind. You heard him say it many a times. She's the only woman that ever been with. Now, listen. Cersei's definitely free. She's the number one thought in all of Westeros. She done hit everyone. Done hit that ass.
Facts.
So that
Boy, for all we know,
put it on Jamie. Brienne is pretty inexperienced, first guy, so probably wasn't that great. I mean, if you really want to look at it like that, I mean, he probably said, I've never been with another woman but Cersei. He got with her and he said, you know, Cersei, she knows how to tickle that tater a little bit better. You know, because people, they do stuff when you're used to it. Brienne probably wasn't doing it. You know what I mean? So quite possibly this could have made him leave or whatever. But and leave like exit like a thief in the night. But I think that was a given that he was going to go back to Cersei.
No, Cersei had 3 kids. That's like throwing a hot dog in a hallway.
Go down. I mean, okay, yes, Cersei was always the thought of the realm. You know, I've always said she was the thought of King's Landing, but it's even more appropriate to say she's the thought of all of Westeros. And you know, Jaime, what was always on that shit. He loved being up under Cersei's skirts. The only person I think that wants to be there more is probably Phantom D. Saint. That's about all she got, you know. And Jaime, he's on this nonsense, so I expected something to happen with him and Brienne, and you know they've actually been building towards that, you know. So the chemistry has always been there. So okay, you know, we about to go into battle. You got knighted. We're drinking. We're happy. Let's go bang. And then tomorrow we might die. I get it, but then for y'all to have my girl outside in her freaking bathrobe, muumuu garment, crying over some dick. I'm sorry, no, that is not what you do with a warrior that is the caliber of Brienne of Tarth.
Where did she get that terry cloth robe? Where did she get that robe?
It don't even matter where she got it from. It don't even matter where she got it from.
That was terry cloth too.
It was absurd. It was just absurd.
I think it's the first time we've seen her like this, right? I've never seen her.
Time, right?
Yeah.
We've seen her low. We've seen her be in danger. We've seen her looking like she's lost, you know, hope and whatnots. But this nonsense that they did, that was the worst travesty ever. And then, you know, she had a sworn duty to, you know, Sansa Stark. Why the hell is she in King's Landing as King's Guard? I get it. They needed a good warrior to be on Bran's, you know, #1 team and whatnots. But that's not where you were supposed to be. I'm sorry. I don't think she should have ended up in King's Landing. I mean, I'm okay with it because now she's basically captain of the King's Guard, and you know that's something she's been wanting to do. But I think she could have had a better storyline and definitely a better route to get to where she was. Not that freaking crying and yelling for Jaime to come back in the snow, you know, in her bathrobe. Come on, man, no.
I just think that Christina the Sphinx saying that she had kids and she's still tight like a tiger is hilarious.
TMI, Sphinx. We didn't need that information, damn it.
I just think that's hilarious. I just think it's hilarious. She got that snapback. You know, she got that snapback. If y'all know Mike Epson, y'all know what that snapback means and all that, you know. But I think that's hilarious. I'm drinking, folks. I'm sorry, but I had to address that real quick. But the Disputed Lands is in the building, rocking with us right now. Look,
Amanda! Shout out to Amanda, greatest. If y'all did not know, one of the greatest theorists in our community here. Please go check out her channel, DA Chrissy. I know you got them links. Please post her up in the chat.
No doubt about it.
But Brienne getting knighted was probably the best thing that happened. I mean, really.
Yeah, I would say that, but knighted by Jaime fucking Lannister.
Oh boy!
Out of all people to be knighted, I mean, if she was knighted by like Barristan Selmy,
he wasn't there.
I'm knighted by someone who really deserved the title of a knight. Then I think it would have been better. But knighted by Jaime Lannister. I
Who's
mean,
that?
And all the memories
done. It had to be done. Jaime was the only one that was there that could do it. So
can you imagine the memories he's gonna have? Go ahead.
You know, one thing I will say is a lot of people had an issue with the way she smiled at the end of that. Hello again. This is Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah.
She's not used to smiling for actually being.
I don't remember her smiling before that.
Exactly. She doesn't smile that big. She was legit proud and happy to finally be who she was and get the recognition that she deserved. And it's supposed to look awkward because that's not what she's used to doing. So all of you haters that were out there just talking about it, it looked weird when she smiled. So what? Shut up.
What about Sir Jorah Mormont? He could have knighted her.
Sir
was the only
Fred
one.
has been banished. Is he even considered a knight anymore?
He's a knight.
Yeah.
Daenerys was there.
Yeah.
I would like
The title.
if she would have got knighted by Daenerys, that would have been as a queen. That would have meant more to me. And if Daenerys would have got there and said, "Kneel in front of me, Lady Brienne," and did it, Jaime Lannister is a piece of shit. It doesn't matter what he does. He's disgusting. He's not no knight. And everyone's like, "Oh, Jaime's on this big redemption arc. He's got to." What was the redemption?
No.
What did he redeem? He redeemed nothing. And he was dumb. And he got Cersei killed by making her stand in one spot like a fool.
It's like, look at me. Look right now as we're
look at me.
dying.
Look
How
at
about
you.
we
I would
move?
have been like, I'm gonna look at you from the other side of the room.
Let's just go that way. We can do whatever. Let's just, shimmy this way.
Yeah, I'll look at you from over here, and you stay right where you at, son.
You could have laid on top of her. You could have just laid on top of her and saved her.
Right?
He could have. Fuck Jaime Lannister.
One of the times
You
when he
heard
would
me.
be on top of her would be saving her, but he didn't do that. I mean,
Yeah, Jaime's just a terrible person. All right, so I guess we beat up Brienne a little bit here. We're gonna go to Sam we had to go get more drinks real quick, but we'll get back to. All right, so we're just going through endings. I didn't say the last. Did I say final season in the thing? So what? I'm just gonna talk about endings anyway.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Peter goddamn Baelish ending. Loved it or hated it?
We can't. It is what it is. There's better options. I'll accept it, but I wasn't a fan.
Sanry, and your beautiful crown, Sanry. Let me tell you that's a beautiful crown that you have on there.
Thank you. 26 Art Girl in the chat made it and gave it to me at Con of Thrones last year. So that's cool.
Who did this?
26 Art Girl.
Oh,
Yeah, Pam. She's awesome.
I
I
was
don't.
awesome enough to get gifts.
I got gifts from Elamar. She sent me stuff. So
Yeah, I also got gifts from Elamar. She's amazing. But yeah, I loved it. I was happy that he died horribly.
you love the Peter Baelish. All right, AK.
All right, yeah. I actually, slight correction. These earrings actually were a gift from LMR, so I did get one gift. So
Listen, man, why everyone gets stuff from Elamar? I thought it was special. Now I don't feel.
I will make you earrings. You're okay. I will make you
Jesus
earrings.
Christ. I felt
Make
good
that the
about
biggest
myself.
hoops
I was
ever.
like, I got something from Elamar. Well, I got something from Elamar. I got something from Elamar too. Everyone got something evidently. Goddamn.
yes. I got awesome earrings from LMR, and I did actually get a really, really great bottle of wine from Abby, aka
Yes.
Home from Jinx and Those Things.
The sweet wine.
For freaking Baelish, I will say I do like that he got a slightly bloody death, but I think it could have done better. So it's I didn't hate it. It was all right for what it was.
Beefing.
Yeah, fine. It was good.
Beefing.
On the curve, on the learning, on the rating curve of season 8, it was good.
For me, I mean, the slit throat was fine, but he was whining too much. Man
I
up a
thought
little
that
bit.
was perfect. That was
Biggest
perfect.
damn baby. Oh,
I know.
Sansa, please.
Because he's a bitch. He's a bitch.
Well,
so he's
yeah.
gonna whine like that.
Yeah.
That was perfect. I will give them
I
credit.
was shocked.
for that.
I didn't like it. I didn't like
was
it. Just
terrible.
like
I'm gonna tell you what it is. It was terrible. It was one of the worst endings for any character in there that they did. There's no reason for him to go out the way he went out. It was set up horribly. There's no way he would he go out like that in the books. I do not believe it. It's not going to happen. It just doesn't make any sense for him to go out like that. There's too many opportunities he had to get out of the situation. Number one, he's sitting there with Bran in the room, and all of a sudden he wants to hand Bran the dagger, and then Bran says the line that he heard him say. Why didn't he just kill Bran's little ass right then? There was nobody. There's nobody there. Why didn't you just kill Bran's? If that was going to be the leak, he could have took Bran out right there. We see he had no problem taking people out. He's done it before. So why didn't he just take out Bran right there? There's no cameras. There's no nothing around. Bran would just be dead, and they'd be like, "Oh, someone murdered Bran. Who did it?" Look around, they would have no idea who did it, and that would just be it. So I just seen too many ways out. He's always supposed to be someone who has a plan, who's thinking one step ahead. For him to have to drop to his knees and beg, I mean, and the reasons. Oh, you plotted our sister, our mother, and our sister, two sisters against each other. There's no proof of that. Where's the proof that he did anything like that? That letter was burnt by Catelyn. So it really is no everything that is accusing him of. There's no proof. How come he didn't call for a trial by combat? He knows what that is. They didn't even give him the option for it. So it's like they wanted to get rid of him, and they just got rid of him, and that's the way they ran it.
I wanted more, like, I like the suffering part just because I wanted him to suffer, but I agree with you, like, it didn't make sense how they arrived at it. Like, I wanted him to really pay for his crimes, and people in chat are saying he should have been thrown out the moon door or decapitated and then thrown out the moon door, and I also really support that idea. I
agree. I think Sweet Robin should have been how I saw it going is because, we had Jon Royce and the Knights of the Vale there. At some point in time, they baby cousin should have came around because, hello, he is, the leader of the Vale. And they should have, Sansa should have told him what was going down. And Sweet, what the hell's his name? Sweet Robin. He already is half in love with Sansa, and apparently got the Neville Longbottom smack stick of puberty because he's actually kind of cute now. So
blow up.
You came in, you have Sansa, getting this kid's ear like, bro, I got to tell you something, and she can make it work. And what happens? We make that bad man fly. You don't get your justice in the North. You have him hightailed, strung up, taken back to the Vale, and you go out the same way you took my mom's out, you fucking bastard. I trusted you for all these years. My mom trusted you and was in love with you, and you screwed all of us over. Fuck you. You're done. Make the bad man fly.
I think it should have been that. I made a video a long time ago, and I'm not saying this because I made this video that I wanted to go out this way. I'm just saying it's better anyway. But I'm saying I made a video a long time ago called The Death of Littlefinger, and he does get pushed out the moon door. But I think he should get pushed out the moon door because I think he should be known as, and I said in the video that he should be known as the bird who couldn't fly. Since everybody else is given titles and everything else, that should have been his ending. Peter Baelish, the bird who couldn't fly, who got pushed out the moon door to his death.
That's
it. I think my head canon or hopeful, whatever, wishful theory, Stoneheart gets a hold of him.
Ooh.
And he gets fed to the flames. That's what for R'hllor and everything, because she's working with what's his name, the
that
mage.
Would also be fitting. Oh yes,
that is because she'll find out about everything eventually, and she'll learn he's the one behind it, and it's more fitting that she calls for his death, since basically he's the one that started everything that fucked over her family.
And he died too quickly. The trial was like, okay, you're like right there. What was it, like 10 minutes, maybe 15 if you stretch it, if you put like a commercial break over there. He tormented people. He was just an awful man, and to die, he didn't even know what's going on, and he was dead. I would have tortured the dude. Like, no, that was way too quick. No.
LMR, I'm finding out, is a sick fuck, man.
I am.
I mean, but hold on, but you like it though.
I am. Like Chrissy says, we do, worship those gods of sex, violence, and chaos, and that blood runs through us. So I'm sorry, not sorry.
Sometimes you got to stab a motherfucker. That's just how it is. Baby. That's just how it is.
Yeah. All right.
I'm finding out I'm sick fucking. I'm like, I am.
She makes a thick pasta salad, though. The best pasta salad.
Goddamn right.
Bloody Mary. So that's a well-known fact. LMR's favorite drink is a Bloody Mary. And
yes, finished one already, right there.
Clink.
Yeah, I thought that ending for Peter Baelish was whack. y'all liked it, then you do. That I'm not trying to say that. I will say that Amanda from the Disputed Lands is still in the chat, and I will say that the Don Tony Teflon and Phil the Issues guy working out of time, waiting on Phil for he to be ready, so that we can put out the Ride the Dragon challenge. We're going to put that video out, and Amanda was on the Ride the Dragon challenge, so she will be in the video. We have her footage on the dragon riding it. So soon enough, you guys will all see. I know this has been like over a year ago and stuff like that, almost 2 years ago for this whole thing, but you will all see that. Don't worry, me and Phil are working on that. All right, we talked about Littlefinger, we talked about Arya, we talked about Sansa. We have to go to people that are bigger there. All right, Danny. Let's go with Danny's the ending for Daenerys Targaryen. Did you like it? Did you love it or did you hate it?
I'm gonna abstain till the end. I'll let Sammy go first.
I hated it.
Wait,
All right.
who are we talking about? I missed it.
Danny.
This,
Danny.
Danny, this is whether you like to hate it. That's it. We'll go into it after.
Ugh.
Oh, I know.
AK,
I'm gonna use a popular gift that some of y'all might be too young to understand.
Hated
it.
it.
Hated it.
That's that
Same
shit
here.
I don't like.
Mm-mm. I hated it.
yeah, I gotta agree with hated it. I gotta go with hate. Sly, were you with the hate or you with the love?
Worst piece of television in the last 10 years.
Ever.
I've seen.
Wait, hold on. Let me interject real quick though. Get
I got
that
super chat right here. I gotta do the super
Oh,
chat
big man
real
Will.
quick. And for my man Will, Big Will from Nashville, my brother, he says, good looking out today, my brother, on Joe and Robert's channel. To me, you will always be the OG. Just moved into my new dig, so here's a toast from Nashville, Vegas, TN, Tennessee, with some Centurial Grand Reservoir. Stay strong, stay sexy. Well, thank you so much, Will. I truly, truly appreciate this. Will's my man. Everyone knows Will. Will is the guy who, if you came to the party at the penthouse mansion, he was his penthouse mansion that we were partying at, and he's the one who gave us a lot of people a lot of places to say. That's why they should do. But I'm not just saying greedily for me that the con should be in Nashville every year because I get to stay at a penthouse. I'm just saying that I would appreciate it.
It was a beautiful penthouse.
I would
Tony.
appreciate it because I can actually drive to that instead of Florida. I can't drive that damn far. People, fix that shit.
I hate Florida.
Yeah.
And it's
No,
hot.
Florida. No way. Mm-mm.
It's too hot. It's so hot.
Nope. Nashville was perfect.
Will was
Perfect hat.
great. He was great. He's a great man. He's a great friend. And I consider him my friend. I just love Will and everything without a shout out. Thank you for the super chat, Will. $49.99. Who got the penny? All right. Let's go into this, Daenerys. Why did you hate Daenerys's ending after all we've seen for her?
They
So-
just didn't give it enough backstory. Like they just she went crazy. Her boyfriend broke up with her. Her best friend was killed. Well, two of them. And then it was like, then the next day she was depressed, and then the next day she's murderous. Like it just, I understand what they were going for. Like, okay, you want to make her a mad queen, but she was like the hero for fucking so many seasons. And then in one episode, we're supposed to turn on her and be like, oh yeah, she sucks. She killed everyone. She's crazy.
If I could point out, any TV show, if you'd play this game with yourself and you're like, what if this female character had dragons? There's going to be a lot more burning in TV if there are more dragons. So like the fact that she like went crazy and snapped will never sit right with me. It's not black and white, it's gray, and it's a slow descent into madness, and I will take it no other way.
Exactly. And
I
I've
should
said
not
it
have
for-
dragons. I should never have dragons.
I want like 5, please. Just
Yeah.
let me have them.
As long as one of them is Falcor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I called it like when I first read the book. Read the first book, watched first season. I'm like, she's a mad queen. She's gonna go nuts. She's not the good character everybody wants her to be. All these people naming their kids Danny, Daenerys, or Khaleesi, and all this. It's like they're gonna regret it because she's gonna go nuts. I called that. I knew it was gonna happen. the way they did it was just wrong. Did not work. It was like Bernie said, too rushed, too fast, no backstory, no, they hit the bullet points, but they didn't give that minutia that you needed. And so when I watched it, I was like, I'm right, but I'm so pissed that I'm right now because they're completely screwing this up. And that's why I hated it. I wasn't mad that she went mad. I was mad that they just did a piss poor job of it.
I disagree that she's going to have that ending anyway. I think you can have your thoughts about it. We agree on half of that, but I think her ending is going to be different in the books.
There's got to be Jon Con and the Bells. Like there has to be like young Griff, and there has to be some point to Fagon. And the fact that D&D just didn't do Fagon's story, I think this is ultimately the consequence of that, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
That's the consequence. We got this shitty ending for Dany,
Or like I think Tony's mentioned in a few of his videos that, they left out all the magic. They couldn't deal with that. They couldn't write it, whatever. Mm-hmm. So the whole Nisa, all the prophecies they left out. Like, is this like some cheap way of her being Nisa? Mm-hmm. Like maybe she'll go out on her own terms. Maybe she'll say stab me. Who knows? We don't know.
See, that's the thing with the whole Nisa. They completely made that point null and moot. The prince that was promised, the princess that was promised, the Valancourt, they built all of that up and none of it came into play in the end. It made no sense at all. If Daenerys was going to get stabbed, my thought was she would get stabbed because, they needed to find a Lightbringer 2.0 or something extra would have been happening. Is there a chance of her going crazy? Yeah, there is. But I think there's even more of a chance of her willingly sacrificing herself to, get the end goal done, because that's the character we've seen her be this whole time. That's the character she is also in the books. But again, like Ben said, it would also be a twist that she does have that slow descent into badness. I mean, she got hit with a lot of stuff square in the face, in that last season, but they didn't properly show, I'll say, all of the repercussions and how that affected her for it to make sense that after the surrender bell has been given, she would just continue to burn people up. That's not who she is. Everybody makes a big stink about Randall and Dickon Tarly. She gave them a choice. She gave them a choice like 3 or 4 different times, and they said no every time, even listening to Tyrion when he tried to pull Dickon out. So, House Tarly wouldn't end as far as they knew, because they didn't know about Sam at that point. But they still said no. So what's the consequence of that? You get burnt. Why are you mad at that? Everyone that was upset at that, I think, what was a bit ridiculous in that ruling. You weren't mad when, she was burning some other people, but then some people were like, well, she was burning people over in Essos all the time. Of course she was crazy. She was burning slavers and people that were trying to kill her. You're not going to get me to be mad about her killing all them Dothraki calls that wanted to rape her. I'm sorry. That's just not how it works.
No, and this is Game of Thrones. People die.
Exactly.
Crown too. Bernie got a crown too.
You just now seeing that, bro? Bernie had that crown for like 20 minutes now.
I'm drinking, man. I'm drinking. Leave me alone.
I'm drinking too. Stop it. That's not.
I'm drinking. Leave me alone.
my Happy Mary is far away, so I can't have another one. I'm gonna have to do it after this.
It was done really badly, and it could have been done better. And, if she is supposed to go crazy in the end, either before she becomes Nisa and has to get stabbed, or even after, I know George is going to give us a better story. And even if she does die, and I would be sad if she died, I'm going to understand why she died, and I'm not going to have a problem with it, because George is a good storyteller like that. Dan and Dave be forgetting shit, and I can't have that.
I miss the time when D&D meant Dungeons and Dragons. Seriously, I miss that time. Right now, when I hear D&D,
yes.
Again,
either Dungeons and Dragons or Double Dragon. If you were 80s,
yeah, exactly. I agree with you, AK, especially when you say that George will write it. If this is supposed to be her ending, if it's supposed to be, he'll take us there. He'll hold our hand, and we'll be like, "Okay, I get it. Okay." Versus what they did to us, it was, no, that was a big no for me.
I just say,
you know what the funny thing is though is, we know that D&D wanted to wrap all this up so they can move on to bigger and better things. but they wrapped it up so horribly. They don't have any bigger and better things to move on to now. They got Star Wars snatched from them. That dumbass Confederate show they wanted to do got snatched from them. There was some other program they were supposed to be working on that got snatched from them. What's the only thing they've been doing right now? That little 2-second cameo they had on Westworld. You should have taken HBO's money and kept giving us the damn story that we were craving. Now,
and even there, they didn't die. Even there, they did not die.
You know, a lot of people, I just don't know about this Targaryen madness that everyone talks about. Where in the history do we see this
Outside of Eris?
Yes.
We don't.
All right, so
Magor.
You could say Magor, but not really.
Magor.
Baelor
has some issues. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put him in the crazy camp.
I'm saying madness. Like they talk about it like it's been throughout the whole history of the Targaryens.
Aryan.
That's every other one of them go mad. That's the way they talk about it. Oh, flip a coin and a Targaryen can be mad or not. Where's the coin flip? I don't see a coin flip. I don't see 1 out of every 2 going crazy from what I've read. I don't see that. So I just don't know how that's even a thing for her to go mad. Just because you have you have a bad hair day, and that's the way they made it look like. They made it look like she just didn't put a makeup on and she didn't do her hair for the day. So now all of a sudden she's crazy. I don't see.
Obviously,
it needs more than that. It was not.
That's actually a really good thought, Tony. When you really break down who they think the crazy Targaryens are, there really is only a handful of them that could be put in that category compared to the plethora, the huge. If you go back all those 300-400 years, there's a lot of folks between Aegon and Dany that did not go crazy. Yeah, some of them were off. Some of them were a bit bloodthirsty and ruthless. Some of them were just mean and ignorant. But you can't really put the crazy label on a lot of them.
Listen, that's very true. KP saying the guy who drank the wildfire.
That's Aryan.
That was on his own ass. Though. He didn't go around burning people. He was just dumb. I don't consider dumb crazy. You know what I mean? Some people are dumb. And some people are crazy. I know a crazy motherfucker. Crazy. You know, there's a difference between being crazy and dumb.
Crazy is Euron.
Well,
Euron is crazy and scary.
Viserys wasn't a good person either. But I mean, as far as the show goes, they don't know about all these other people. If you're just watching and you didn't read the books, you know.
Yes, they do. No. Well, the characters in the show would know about all those people. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but Viserys was
crazy. He was just an asshole.
He's an asshole. He's mean, but he's not crazy. I know crazy is crazy. That's what crazy is. You know, crazy is I'm liable of anything. I'll cut myself. I'll cut you. I'll cut the person down the block in it because I'm crazy. I can't think. That and being mean is 2 different things. I don't see these crazy Targaryens that people say. I just don't see it there. So this whole coin flip doesn't make sense to me, and it just doesn't make sense to me that all of a sudden that this chick is just because she after all she's been through. And if you look at everything from season 1, all the being sold to a husband, she worked her way through that. The Darren down duck sauce trying to steal her stuff and lock her into a thing, she got through it. The people stealing her dragons from the house of the undying, she got through it. Everything she's worked out, but now all of a sudden, this is too much stress. I mean, she's been under stress. It's not this is the first stress she ever came under. She's done been under stress before.
She's been under stress since she was born.
Yeah, she's not under that yet. But all of a sudden, this just made her lose her wig. But she has to. I gotta kill all the innocent people because I'm crazy. It just doesn't make any sense. It really.
They should have shown her like eating some beetles and rocking in the corner or something. You know?
Smash the beetles.
Oh my God.
That should be crazy. That would be
right. And you're right though. If they would have done some little bit, like maybe have her like start having ticks or something in the north, before they even march south, so just something to make me actually think this chick just went full out crazy. But they didn't do that. And that's so far outside of Dany's character, it just doesn't fit. It really doesn't.
What happened to Misa? You know?
Yeah,
Right.
seriously.
Right,
They just,
even
like-
when she was pissed off, you know.
Second worst
It did work.
version of television.
Sorry, Sanry.
Go ahead,
No, I'm
Shannon.
just saying it's like a really bad representation of mental illness. And as someone with like anxiety and depression, I'm just like, man, this is not how it works at all.
At all. Not
At
even a little
all,
bit.
not even close. And I'm very open about that, so I don't mind saying it. But yeah, like, come on, this is not how anything works. This is not madness. This is nonsense. And that's just how I felt about it. Like, I felt like I left my body when I watched the episode, The Bells. I had just gotten back from Korea, so I was already super sleep deprived. And I'm like, what is this BS? This isn't Game of Thrones. This is a bad dream. Nope.
A very bad dream. They seriously, Dan and Dave gave me and my fellow fan fiction writers the worst fucking rap ever. Now, you know, people already don't like fan fiction sometimes, but now everyone really hates fan fiction because that's what they see as D&D's Game of Thrones. And I'm like, yo, we ain't all that bad. Some of us actually know how to tell a good story. Them assholes don't.
They let Jason Momoa listen. He let Jason Momoa smack his hands bloody. All right, it just shows you
They some college kids, yeah.
what he really is. You know what I mean? It shows you, and he let that big man smack his hands bloody because he thought he had something to prove. You know what I mean? Let me bring you back in. I see you. I see you.
I went to get my dragons.
Sorry, BRB, gotta get my dragons. NBD.
That's the way, you know. So they're just terrible when they're very petty. You know, this is just like, you know, they said, they came out and said, hey, we gave the character Jon Snow a little dick because Kit Harington had too much going on for himself. You know, they said that. It just shows you that they're petty. They're petty college kids who just happen to make it at this particular time.
They even said, like, they actually tricked all of, like, the people in charge that gave them the go-ahead and the money to give them the show. Like, they literally said this in the damn last interview that they did. Go watch that. You will actually, no, don't watch it because you'll be even more disappointed with the answers that they give. They flat out admit they did not know what they were doing.
Tony, you couldn't find one person that actually likes season 18 on this panel?
Oh my God. Well, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought.
See, YouTube don't want LMR to be great tonight, man. What is happening?
She better say. She better say. That's just what it is. All right. So I'm not. We're going through other seasons besides season 8 too, right? So we're trying to try to make people happy and stuff like that. But before I do, and we go on a little bit longer and all that good stuff, everybody's like, hey, rocking with us, and we adults, so we could stay up. I'm gonna take a shot for Will because he gave me that super chat. That means I gotta take a shot to do that. But before that, I want to ask y'all a question because it's the lady Don. That's how we do. We do ask questions here. So we'll go through Luke. Or is it Benji?
That's Benji. That's good. You're good.
Right. I was gonna say Benji first, but then I said, "Fuck it, let's go with Luke," because I was just thinking Luke has it. Sly, we're gonna say that. All right, we're gonna go with that. I would like to know from Sly, Sam Rixian, Bernie, and AK. Though I think I know AK. So what? Real, you know, it's real fast. How did you get into Song of Ice and Fire?
I'll go real quick. Mine was I heard about the season 1 right before season 2 was coming out. So I binge watched all season 1. The problem was I kept passing out watching episode 1 because I'd watch it after going to the bar and come home, and I fell asleep like 3 times. It took me 4 times to get through episode 1. Made it to the end, and I was hooked. Binged the whole thing the rest of the weekend. Read the whole book series after season 2, and then I was caught up by season 3 with all the current information we had, and then got into it on season 3 and been weekly, or watch it from there.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. Sari?
I read the books in somewhere between 2008 and 2010, and then I just drew a bunch of stuff and eventually got retweeted. So
Beautiful, beautiful. No, we're gonna come back to you, Sam. We're gonna talk about this art. Bernie.
I watched the first episode, and the next day I went to the bookstore and bought all the books and just read them. And I think I waited like maybe 3 weeks for a Dance with Dragons. So right off the bat, I mean, that was kind of sad that I only waited for maybe 3 weeks for that book. Now we're just waiting.
Is AK you there? AK, you go on for a second.
she went to the loo.
All right, so what's what? But since you guys, so Sammy, you're a very great artist. We have she's one of the greatest artists in the whole fandom. Bernie's a great artist too.
Yes,
If
she
people
is.
don't know about that, Bernie is a very great artist. Now, when you were doing your artwork and everything, when did you say, "Hey," like you knew, like that? Hey, I got something here. Because I'm sure a lot of people start. I drew stuff when I was in elementary school and everything else. But when did you know? You said, "Hey, I have a special talent here." And did you go to high school for it, or you go to college for this art, or what?
I went to college. I went to the Kansas City Art Institute for Animation and Art History, and I have a degree in both. But I would say probably when I was around 8 years old, my mom just like kept pushing me to do more and more and more. And she was like, "Oh, you really have something there, honey." And my dad was like a technical artist. Like he did designs with rulers and stuff like back in the 70s. So it's just kind of like a thing. It's always been a thing for me, and I've always been drawing. But as far as when I got into it, as far as Game of Thrones, like I've been drawing stuff since I read the books way back when, but it's been more of a central focus for the last 3 or 4 years for sure. I met Bernie back in like 2016, if I remember correctly, and we've been planning Illumination for that long, if you guys can believe that.
That's beautiful, Bernie. We got your artistic
She's
ability.
so talented.
She is.
I still don't know, if I'm good. I just I didn't go to college at all. I went straight to work. I thought that I would go to college for art, and then I kind of looked at how much it would cost and then how much people were making when they got out, and I just decided I like, having money and working, and, so I just went that route because, I've been working since, I was like 14 years old. And but I did independent studies in high school, and my art teacher, he passed away recently, but he told my uncle, who he's friends with, that I was the best student he ever had. So that was really sweet. And I didn't have my first art show until I was 35 years old, believe it or not. And it sold out. I sold every painting that I made, about 20 paintings. And so it's never too late,
That's what it is. No. People, I think that a lot of people, they always think things like this. It doesn't happen to me when I was young. That doesn't happen, when Bernie Mac finally made it. Bernie Mac made it in his mid 40s. It's like 43, 44 when he finally got that superstardom. So no, you're never too old. All you got to do is just chase your dreams. AK, let me ask them, when did you get into the Song of Ice and Fire series, and what made you into it?
So I had to go to the party just now. That's one of the reasons I wanted to go last, but also because it's kind of a long story. I, as y'all know, am a fan fiction writer. So when new things come out, unless I find it like extremely, extremely interesting, I purposely try to stay away from it for a while because I don't want new plot bunnies forming in my head. So when Game of Thrones came out, I'd randomly heard about it. I ignored it because I'm very prone to loving period pieces, especially things that are in in Egyptian mythology or in medieval times. I eat that shit up like it's my job. So Game of Thrones, dragons, magic, swords. Yeah, I'm not going to mess with that right now. I got stories to write and update. So I think it got to about season 4. I don't remember what I was looking at, but I saw some side article about the show, and on the cover, it was Entertainment Magazine. On the cover was Daenerys Targaryen, beautiful chick with white blonde hair and awesome gray eyes. I didn't know at the time they were supposed to be purple. It would have been better if they were, but that's neither here nor there. And she had a little dragon sitting on her lap. So I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and see what's going on. What is all the buzz about? And I get to episode 1, season 1, and I'm like, well, shit, I can't look away. Within about a week, I caught up to where the rest of the world was at season 4, episode 8, and had to start the waiting game that everybody else was on. After season 4 was over, I needed more because my mind works weirdly like that. So I hit the interwebs, downloaded the books, finished all those in about a month or so. And immediately started a reread, got into the histories. I found all the history and lore stuff that comes with the DVD and Blu-rays. And that's what I really love. The current time story is great, but the histories of all the houses, that's really where I put a lot of attention. And I've just been running with this shit ever since, found Comic Book Girl 19. I found Tony, this is when I started watching his videos. Don Willie, now known as a Don of Ice and Fire, the original Azora hype. And, my first ever stream I did about Game of Thrones was on Don Willie's channel. So y'all go check him out because he's an OG and he's awesome. And I've just been rolling with the punchers ever since. And now I live here. I get on streams and talk randomly about Game of Thrones. This is just what I do. That's
what it is with me. Like we're going to go right back to this topic because we don't want people to get bored. But, it's like, I have friends in my real life and I have people who love me and all that, but it's like the people here in this fandom is like my family, and I really feel that way. Like when I go to cons and stuff, to me, it's like a family reunion. Like I look forward to going and seeing people healthy and happy and stuff. And I'm just so happy that I actually, that people allow me to be in it, and people just, and that I'm able to meet people and stuff. So
we love you, Tony.
Can I also give a shout out to my girls? Because, the Mad Queens, y'all know that's who I hang with. And they're awesome. Please give a shout out to T-Baby and Monero and Lady Diligence, especially with her, awesome theories that be coming on. I love them all. And I have this family, like Tony said, just because I happen to be a random nerd and people decide that they like me enough to talk to me in the chats.
No doubt about
I gotta add that I think the only person that I know here from so many people, it's family. Tony, you're right. It's a family. It's a family we choose. I mean, we're born to the family we're born to or adopted to, but friends and a family like we are, we choose to be here. Nobody's holding us hostage here. We want to be here. We want to come back here. But I gotta say, AK, you and I have so many different things that we like. I mean, so many things that we like the same. I keep hearing you, oh, this movie, like, I love that. This movie, I love that too. No way. That movie, like, no way. She's reading my mind. It's funny. It's really funny to meet people that you have same interests with.
Elamar, I don't know if you can hear me, but can y'all hear Elamar right now?
Yeah.
I heard it.
Okay, she looked frozen on my screen. All right.
No,
she's frozen.
Yeah, her video's frozen.
Okay, but the audio's still good. Sweet.
Okay. I hope I didn't freeze like in some kind of
it's
weird.
It's a great picture.
No,
okay.
Your frozen spots tonight have actually been on point.
Okay, I'm trying not to move. I'm trying not to move just in case. But no, I just gotta say it's really fun to have family. Like you said, you said you're like a geek. What did you call yourself? A geek of what? Like you different.
I'm a Renaissance geek, is what I like to say. A little bit of everything that you might not expect a little brown girl from Brooklyn to be into. I can talk about it.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. Yeah. Go ahead,
Tony. If I may, I wanted to thank you personally, as well as everybody here on stream, just from our family. From the Drawbridge, from the Hogans. We had some shit go down a month or so ago, and you called it out. You helped us out. You made it known. You and everybody in the community just overwhelmingly helped my sister out. And so from my personal heart, thank you guys. It means a lot to us that going to the whole family, we're all family here, and thank you. It meant the world to us.
And let me give another RIP and a thank you for your service, Joe, because you may not have thought you were known in the community, my brother, but you are missed.
You always remember. Thank you for that. I definitely, we are family and everything else, and just so happy that I'm just happy that we have each other to lean on and times like that, So definitely, we all love you, Benji. I said the name right this time, right?
Tony ain't good with names.
Next time I'm on, I'll put Benji.
He forgets my damn name sometimes too.
It take a second for me to get, take a second, but I'll get you. You know what I mean? But thank you so much. I truly appreciate it, and I hope your sister. Obviously, I don't know what to say, and obviously it's going to be a hard time for the rest of her life. But I know she's got you. I know she's got her family, and she has all of us. And hopefully somehow that eases it a little bit, if it can be eased a little bit. I'm taking this shot right now for Big Will for the super chat. Here you go. This is Hennessy right here.
So smooth.
Delicious.
Why do that? Okay, we're talking about people dying and everything else. Let's just endings in general. Let's go Jon Snow. We did Daenerys. Jon Snow ending. around the horn.
I don't want it. It was fine. The ending itself was fine.
Sanri,
What?
wake up.
I'm sorry. The ending of what?
Jon
Jon
Snow.
No.
Oh, I'm okay, I guess.
AK. Oh,
Nah.
that's pretty obvious.
Nah.
It was okay.
I mean, what did you want? I guess he's fine. Yeah, it's okay.
It's no okay with me. I thought it was disgusting. I thought his ending was terrible. I don't see it. I'm gonna go. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't understand what they were going for when dealing with it and stuff. So I'll start. I guess maybe y'all can explain it to me. And people who think it's okay, because I just don't see what a Targaryen beyond the wall really has to do with anything from what we've seen. Why was it important for him to be a Targaryen in this whole thing? Why? It didn't serve a purpose at all to me, him being Targaryen. He could have did everything he did just being Joe Blow from down the block. So I just don't see what was the importance of him being Rhaegar's child. Why? Just to get Danny killed?
He rode a dragon.
He rode a dragon, yeah.
Create more chaos.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
one dragon that got killed and Danny didn't even freaking care. That didn't hurt my feelings at all.
I mean, the reason I said it was fine was because he did end up where he felt he belonged, in the north, north of the wall with the free folk and everything, because it doesn't matter that he was a Targaryen, doesn't matter that he was Stark, he was a free, he was a free person, he became that. So I'm okay at the very end, that being the aspect. The lead up to it, again, I don't want it. He was boring, it made no sense, none of the shit mattered, and so yeah, the reason I say the fine thing is because the very, very ending. That's it. That I'm fine with.
I agree with Benji with the point that he never wanted to be anybody. He just wanted to be at the wall. The wall didn't want him. There's no more wall. So what else is he gonna do? He's gonna go north of the wall. He didn't want any titles. I don't think he wanted any titles. He deserved them, I guess, but again, deserved versus fought for them. But again, why would he mention that he is a Targaryen? Just to cause chaos? Why say what the secret was? Like we discussed, Tony.
Exactly.
He didn't have to say it. Why say it? Tony was so right when he said, why he kept it all that time. Why say it now? What's the point? But again, that didn't make any sense. But him going out there, first of all, no, I guess he didn't have anything to say. He didn't have any words. They didn't give him any words. They just sent him off. But the only part that was fine is that for me is he didn't want to have any titles in the beginning. He wanted to be free, and he was. Out there, he doesn't there's nothing he has to do. He's free and he can be as wild as he wants to be. And find his other egret, maybe? I don't know.
That's beautiful sentiment.
Does that mean he's gonna go off with Val in the end and just marry Val?
John. Hey, I would love it if he had John, Danny, and Val, like that kind of, that would be awesome. Or maybe Danny could have John and Fagon or
Fagon.
And I'm just joking around, but she could have brother husbands.
That'd be great.
Nephew husbands, I think, would be the more appropriate.
Well, they're brothers, kind of. They're half brothers.
Some equality there, sure.
Rhaegar's sons. Yeah, I really didn't like how Grey Worm just fucking took over and just bullied fucking Jon all around. He got the whole Westeros behind him, and Grey Worm's word was fucking gold. That was just stupid to me.
The whole damn thing was absolutely atrocious. There again, it's almost the same argument as Danny. What was the point of any of the buildup, of any of the prophecy? Why did it matter that he was the son of Lyanna and Rhaegar? It made no sense. No, you don't want those titles, but that's what usually happens to some of the greatest leaders. They get put into positions that they don't necessarily gun for, but they end up being great at. We've already seen that happen with him as being the Lord Commander. He didn't necessarily campaign for that shit, but he got put in it. He did the best he could with it. It ended up getting him stabbed. But you know what? After that stab, because of the prophecy around this kid's bloodline, he was brought back from the dead for a purpose. So now at the end of it all, you just gonna fuck off back north of the wall and disappear into the histories? For what? What was the point of you being Jon Snow? What was the point of you dealing with all of the hardships that you've had to deal with in Winterfell starting off, and then at the wall, and then moving back to the north and all through the realm? What the hell was the point of the struggle? It's like the whole damn story for everybody is just the Shaggy Dog effect. Everybody thinking that, Rickon's story is going to end up with him doing nothing. Well, the way D&D told it, everybody means nothing. And y'all thought it was going to be a great big deal, but no, it didn't matter at all. What the hell was the point? This is the worst ending. And it's probably the number 2 worst ending besides Dany for any character. You can't build up someone like that and just have nothing happen to them. They changed his whole personality and the way he did things. And like they were saying before, what was the point of him telling the secret? It made no sense. Bran wasn't going to say anything. We know that. The minute he said something to Sansa, it was a wrap, and that's when everything really started going downhill.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, none of it made sense, but I kind of feel like at the end, Jon could just fuck off like that. Like that's where I'm coming from with his ending, not how it got there. You know what I mean? Like it all sucked. I thought the writing was fucking terrible all the way around. But
who is more freer than the king of a realm? I mean, we saw look at how Bran was at the end. We saw how he was doing. He basically came to the meeting for 5 minutes and was like, "All right, yeah, y'all go ahead and do some things. I'm gonna go talk to the trees real quick."
Heavy is the head that wears the crown, though, man. That's a lot of stress.
If you're actually being a good king, maybe. But even when you are, you can still delegate things to the people around you if you really know the people around you and get things done. It's just it didn't make sense, and it was very unfitting, honestly, to me for Jon's character. That's just how I saw it, though.
I agree. It was terrible. It definitely was terrible. We're going to talk about Bran next. It just didn't make any sense. I just don't know why he went beyond the wall. It didn't seem like he had this big connection with all these wildlings like that. So, I could see if he was there and he was hanging out and he was drinking beers with them and they were all hanging out. But when you look at the actual story that they showed, him with the wildlings, most of the wildlings never liked him. They tried to kill him. He betrayed them. He was the reason why Mance got killed. He actually killed Mance. He shot Mance with the arrow. I don't see him say, "All right, let me go back beyond the wall. Everyone loves me." I don't see this love fest that they supposedly had with him to make him want to go back there. I just don't see it. So it just didn't make any sense for me to think that for him to go back beyond the wall, and it just really there's no purpose of his bloodline going beyond the wall. I just don't see why that should have happened.
Especially when you take into account, the fight with the Night King. First, I'm sure we'll get to the Night King, so I'll save all of my issues with him until you bring him up. But that's not a fight that should have been solely with Arya. For how they've built up the Night King, they've showed you, he's a super, necromancer, skin changer, whatnot. And we had Bran train up to do whatever the hell Bran was supposed to do. And that battle of the mind didn't happen. The fighting with the child of ice and fire, the King Arthur person of the story, the Aragorn that's supposed to be in the last final battle, isn't the one that ends up killing him. Where the hell is the mystique in this kid's blood? Just what was the damn point? It just it made no sense. And it was a really flat ending, and for how they ended it off. They could have done something better for Jon's character.
So what would you prefer? Yeah. I mean, I'm agreeing too. But what would you see him like at the end? Because he was caught. I guess. Why would he even confess? Nobody knew the dragon can talk.
He didn't even have to tell Dany. That's the thing. He didn't even have to tell Dany. Yeah. If you really didn't want the crown like that, then shut the fuck up and let the chips fall the way that they were falling, and then everyone would have been happy. It wouldn't have been no treachery for Sansa to spill that secret, and none of that. Again, Bran wasn't going to say anything. He's the only other person that really knew.
On top of that, he didn't even nobody was there when he killed fucking Dany. Nobody. He didn't have to say a word to him. He could have said Drogon went nuts, burned her body, and took off.
Yeah, look, he burned the throne down too. She was sitting on it. I don't know what what happened.
And I can completely agree with you on that. My honest opinion on the ending show, I thought Jon would be sitting the throne. It would have finally come, because he is the Song of Ice and Fire, as Rhaegar puts it.
Exactly.
He's the Song of Ice and Fire. That's the whole book series. That was my call. I was wrong. Okay. So what they gave me, I'll accept it. The roundabout way, it was boring, and there was no point to it. But it's I understand exactly what you guys are saying on. It was just bad. It just made no sense.
And how did he survive his King's Landing after killing Dany? Why didn't he get killed by the Dothrakis? Why didn't he get killed by Grey Worm? Why didn't he get killed by any of Dany's people? Why all of a sudden did they just put him in a cell and he was able to survive? If they really killed Dany to that point, and someone killed Dany, they would have went ape shit and killed his head. It wouldn't matter about the repercussions.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have mattered about their life or anything else like that. They would have just went ape shit, killed whoever, and put his body on display and said,
It happened for the same reason that Bronn and Jaime did not get fried to all hell in boiling hot water when Drogon put them flames aimed at Jaime, and Bronn thought just diving a little half inch to the right into the water was going to save it.
Treacherous
in ridiculously hot boiling lava water, and you wearing all of the metal armor that did not drown you after swimming a mile away to safety for some odd reason. I don't know.
Yes, there's a lot of plot holes in this. Let's go right into the Night King and Bran. We'll just do them both at the same time. How did you feel about the ending of the Night King and Bran? That was like double thumbs down. We got 4 stars. Another thumbs down.
I'm just gonna say hated it.
We're frozen.
King. Who wanted Bran to be king?
Who's got a better story? Everybody has a better story than Bran.
Who has a better story than Bran the Broken? Every other character that has been put on the screen. Missandei had a better story than Bran the quote-unquote broken. Why is Bran the Broken even the damn name that Tyrion was allowed to give him? If that's going to be the king, you don't capitalize on something that is a weakness for the king. How is this okay? It made no sense at all. And he gets down there, they're in the damn parlay, and he's like, well, it seems like you should be king. What do you think I'm doing here? The fuck you mean, what do we think you're doing here? What? Well, you're not supposed to be in the running at all. You talking about you can't lead Winterfell, but now you could all of a sudden lead the realm?
Yeah.
It just, none of it made sense. The Night King stuff, we'll get to that. Bran, just, oh my God. And the other reason it pisses me off, because it made Luke right, which in my realm should not fucking happen. But Luke had called it Bran's most important character. He's the first chapter written. He's the reason why the series was in time. Because the first chapter George thought of was Bran's first chapter of the book. And so Bran is an important character. And I get it. And I can be fine with Bran sitting that role in the book series well enough. But you got to do some more shit than just sit around and get drugged and let people die for you and do nothing. The do nothing option is always an option. It's proven Bran did it. He did absolutely jack shit and got everything.
What was the sense of the whole training of the 3-Eye Raven? What was the sense of even going up there? If you want to just go by Bran being Bran. He didn't use any of those powers that he learned in any way to defeat the Night King. He did nothing.
Cersei.
He was bait. I mean, bait. Anyone could have been bait. I'm just gonna sit by. I dragged my fucking ass with no legs, sat on people's backs, got pulled by dog sleds all the way up to this guy's tree to go underneath the tree, sacrifice Hodor and everything just so I could sit in a weirwood tree and be bait. That was it. all that trained just to be bait? Anyone could have been bait. I could be bait right now. I could stand by a tree and sit down.
I know shit.
It didn't make any sense. Well, why he didn't use any of these powers? He didn't use any of these. I thought that he was going to be in this big warging battle versus this guy. Like he was going to take over some people, and they were going to they were going to fight on this plane inside the mine or something. None of this stuff happened. He just sat there at the tree like a fool. And the Night King just stared at him, and Arya came and did the jump. It just didn't make any sense for him to go through all this. Why were they trying to kill him so badly when he did nothing?
That's what I was saying. You know, he had that damn line, Theon, you're a good man. I'm going to go now. Bitch, where the fuck you going? We don't need you to go anywhere unless you are going to use your power and be the Ward King come again, and you are going to skin change all of the ravens, all of the polar bears, all of the whatever other animal is in the vicinity of your reach, which should have been a lot because of the way they built you up, and you would have all of them come into reinforcements on the battlements of Winterfell. This would have been the perfect moment to tie in with the wolf pack. Bran should have been able to reach all the way to the fucking Riverlands, connect with Nymeria. Arya, on that matter, should have also been able to connect with Nymeria. Like, yo, we need backup. Bring the dogs. And
like the Sleeping Beauty moment, or whatever you call it, you know, summon all the animals, do all that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. No, it wasn't Sleeping Beauty. It was Snow White.
Snow White, yeah, I always mix those two.
It was Snow
yeah.
White. She started her little song, and all the animals came in. That is exactly what Bran should have been doing. Bran should have been doing that. And on that mind plane, like Tony said, I always thought there was going to be a battle of the mind and also a battle of the physical body. It's like what the hell did I watch when I came up with it? The Children of the Corn. When they had to defeat Isaac, they had to kill Isaac and also kill the book, because that was the totem that held his power. They needed to fight him in the mind and kill the skin changer aspect, and then Jon needed to come in as the prince that was promised, or him or Dany as the princess was promised, with the dragon fire and the special sword, and come in and roast his ass. But we didn't get none of that. So it made all of those good points null and void. Why the hell would you take a fantasy story, put it on screen, and then take away the magic that makes it fantasy? That makes no damn sense at all.
It was acting by looking, and there was no action. No action at all. On top of everything that you said, what I didn't like was, for me, the Night King is somebody, I keep saying it every time he comes up. Before, when I see him before, I saw him as a person who isn't doing it for, I wanted to know why he's doing it. What's the purpose? To have like a deeper meaning of it. He never looked happy. He did it like as if it's his duty. Like this is like a sad thing. Like I have to do it. It doesn't give me pleasure from killing people. There was never any emotion. It was kind of blank stare, like as if it's like something he has to do. There was not like, pleasure like you see with Ramsay or Joffrey that murdering, and you have this thing. And then at the end, what do? They make him smirk. Like, I would have been like, why would you make a facial expression? I hated that. The worst thing would be if you would say something. At least they did not do that, because that would have been a slap on my face.
You know what was even worse than that, though? What was even worse than that, real quick? You had the fucking dual-wielding Arthur Dane actor play this character, and you didn't have him draw that sweet ass ice sword once, not once, except to try to make a chop at Bran. Are you kidding me? What the heck was the point of the generals that he had there, also who were necromancers and had badass ice swords? Why?
Yeah,
none of them.
So to a point, I believe it was Jay Cruz made it in the chat earlier. Of D&D had planned on the prequels being coming out, so they weren't giving away a lot of shit. And I agree, we did not get a backstory for the fucking Night King. That's Kay, as you have up on the chat there from Kay. We did not get the backstory of why or what, and so they put all their eggs in the basket of, well, they'll cover this in the prequel series that's going to come out, and it fucked over everything, because now that prequel series has been shit canned. They're going a different route with it.
They
You know,
still could have had him fighting though.
I'm not gonna give them the excuse.
They don't get no
that.
quarter.
They don't
I'm
get,
not-
they get no love from that. The bottom line is
I'm not going to
they
love.
had the
It's bullshit.
chance to put this motherfucker out there. They changed characters, as AK said, from the original Night King guy to this guy who was the dual wielding sword. They had him on the Entertainment Weekly cover holding the goddamn sword. They had him on the box of the motherfucking toy holding the goddamn sword. Yet he does not even get a chance to use this sword at all. It just doesn't make any sense. You don't switch characters to be like that. The smirk was stupid. And the fact they had him bitch out to Jon Snow. You had him cutting through. You had the White Walkers cutting through people at Hardhome. You had him do the Michael Jackson arm raise. And now all of a sudden, when Jon Snow was there looking at him face to face, Jon Snow charges at him like, I'm coming to get your ass. And this guy bitches out and just raises whites and walks away. This does not fit when you see the book, the first goddamn chapter, when Raymar Royce meets the White Walkers, they fight his ass. They don't run away. Now, this is the commander, the king of them all, and he ain't even trying to fight this dude. Come on, man. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever the way that they handled this character. He was not a threat whatsoever. He didn't do anything. We knocked the wall down. That's about it. He didn't do anything else. He's not a threat. As I said, the mountain was a bigger threat than this motherfucker. So it really made no sense for them to go this route with him. He didn't do anything. And I will say, I didn't put this up there about Daenerys. I did like the fact that they let Daenerys have a sword in her hand before Jorah. I thought she looked good with the sword. Yes, she was in a mink coat. All right, we're gonna get past that.
I mean, it was cold, man.
She was also flying in the air. You get that wind chill.
Yeah.
We're gonna get past the mink coat. She
That
loves
coat was
Jar
the
Jar
best part of
Gabor.
season 8.
She loves Jar Jar in it, but still, she had the sword in hand. You know what I mean? So I definitely rocking with that. You know what I mean? But as for Jon Snow, the Night King Bran, it made no sense. Why did you have this guy just grab Bran's arm in the dream just to put the frost scale on his hand? Why did you show that, hey, he can contact him in this if they weren't going to have a battle in that realm?
Yeah.
Why did they do that? It just made no sense for me. I didn't see it at all. Why it was going down like that, So it just didn't work in the end.
And to your point on that, grabbing the hand. So he grabbed the hand, he marked Bran, he was able to get in the Weirwood, but yet he still needed the fucking dragon to take down the wall because that magic's different somehow. Bran already went south of the wall. The Night King should have been able to just cruise right on past.
Right on through.
And it's like they just forget shit as they're going. They don't follow their own rules. And as another book series that we just covered, one of the characters says, I'm fine with the fantasy and with the everything there is, but you have to follow the rules that you set up in your own realm. And if they're not following the rules in their own realm, it just makes it bullshit. And that's what they've done time and time again. And the Night King, like you said, is the ultimate example of that.
No doubt. Ray Riddle, super chat, says, "Oh, the White Walkers basically fan fiction in the show." No, I wouldn't say it's fan fiction because they're in the books and everything, and they're supposed to be the main antagonists of the books. It's supposed to be, from what the story I read was, that humans are all bickering with each other, but they need to come together because the true enemy is coming from the north. That's what I thought it was. The whole story was supposed to be build up the whole Game of Thrones Song of Ice and Fire series. It didn't pan out like that. And the fact that they let this guy the first motherfucking time that they had a chance to prepare for him and defend him, they defeated him. Which is bullshit. They should not have been able to defeat him that quick. He should have been there. He was running through everything, and there's no way they should have been able. The first time, all right, we set up here at Winterfell, we're ready for him. And they kick his ass the first time they kick his ass and they beat him. He's supposed to be a threat. He should have been able to knock Winterfell over. They should have had to retreat. I would have liked it if, while then Bran, White Walkers is killing everyone. They got to retreat through the crypts of Winterfell. So then Bran uses his walking powers to bring all the birds and everything and all the wolves to give them time to escape. Do something like that. You know what I mean? That would have been much better. And let them make their stand at the Vale or somewhere else like that. He should have been able to knock Winterfell down, the Night King. He should have died the first time he fought.
And they started.
Totally agree.
They started the first. I guess is it not only the first episode, but the first things we see is that magic part. It's the the undead, the eyes glowing, whatever was it, blue, I guess, in the beginning, even though later on they were gone for a long time. So for me, it started with White Walkers or Whites, or whatever they were back then, whatever we saw. I wanted it to end with that. Not just at the wall, beginning at the wall, ending at the wall. For me, the last battle should have been the battle. First, they get their stuff, taking care of the politics, and they get together. Hopefully, whoever survives gets to fight the battle that needed to be fought. But they did it the other way around. They ended with politics and.
Exactly.
It would have been a good tie-in for those secret tunnels that a lot of us think they have underneath all of Westeros. They could have escaped through the crypts. Made their way all the way down to the Isle of Faces, which is another huge magic center for the Children of the Forest, I think, and that's where Bran should have really been able to try to make a stand. But even after that, I think they should have gotten as far south as King's Landing, because in the battle that we know of in the past, I think there was more than one Long Night, but for the one that we know, they won. The others were able to knock everybody back. They took over Westeros. And I think that's what some people don't know, and they can't excuse me, they don't calculate that in. The others ain't no punks. An undead army coming at you that you can only kill one, maybe two different ways. That is a lot to have to deal with. It shouldn't have been as simple as killing all of them at Winterfell.
Yeah. And with that also, I hated the Dracula mentality of you kill the Night King, all of them fall.
Yes.
That's crap. It's a cop out. It's an easy fucking thing. But Kay's next point that you posted up there, I'll call back to the one video that I saw on Reddit way back. The guy pointed out when Jon's yelling at the dragon, for some goddamn reason, he's not running, he's not hiding, he stands up and yells, yeah. If you slow it down a bit, it does kind of sound like he's yelling go. And in my headcanon, he's yelling go to Arya running behind the dragon to get up, because the dragon was blocking the gateway. So he's distracting the dragon so Arya can run at least past there and skip past the whites there. Again, it doesn't make fucking sense. It'd been nice to show, maybe, get some clarification on that. But I'll use that as headcanon to make it seem a little bit better. That's my only thing with that. But yeah, the teleportation to the jump fucking scare stab. It's like, yeah.
Listen, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're trying to do. And I think it's a good effort for trying to do it, but it doesn't fly. And no disrespect to you.
I know. I know.
No disrespect to you. I'm just saying, come on. It was complete bullshit. This guy has given up, so he just started screaming like the battle cry, because his ass was kicked, and it just didn't make any sense at that point for it to even go down like this. And Arya, as you said, with the butter knife. Now, in the books, I don't think we know Dark Sister will come into play, right? Because Dark Sister is is inside Blood Raven's cave, and it's gonna come back. So maybe Dark Sister comes back. Give Dark Sister to Dany, and let if Jon ain't doing it, let Dany do it. Let someone, Arya. I understand why you want to do it, but. It's got to be Jon or Dany. It has to be one of them. They had if Dany would have killed the Night King, and the Night King should have kicked Jon's ass, should have knocked Jon on the floor, and then when he's about to kill Jon, then someone stabs him in the back and kills him. I can get with that. Then I could see the Night King be. But the fact that when Arya killed him, when she does the hand drop to the thing. They show the Night King look down at the. He's just looking down at the deck. He looked right down at it. He's like, "Hey, what's going on down here? Oh shit, you're dead." Yeah, why they showed him looking down at the motherfucker? If he has the time to look down when he's got you with one arm and a choke slam, like motherfucking Undertaker. I seen the Undertaker and the Big Show choke slam people, one arm, boom, and it's over. They don't look down. It don't take that long. You don't wait for the steel chair. It's like he looks right down. I got you in the choke, but hey, what are you doing down there? Just snap a neck. Do whatever you got to do and get out of it.
You know what?
Even if he just even if he looked down and the knife was already in him or something. I don't know, like, she does the move. She doesn't like, oh, I have a knife and then I'm gonna stab you. No, like he looks down and the knife is already in, or the blade is already inside him. Maybe not like, let's look at it. Oh, what am I gonna do with it? I don't know.
Not even that though. Before she even got the blade into her other hand, this is the king of the ice people touching human skin. Why was Arya not frozen from the neck all the way down as soon as he put his hands on her? And to even pull it past that, just to backtrack a small tad bit, at the end of the damn battle when they're in the Great Hall and they're talking about all this good shit, Tormund makes it a point to bring up that this crazy bastard Jon, who's the awesomest king ever, rode a dragon. Bitch, did you check for the fucking queen that brought the damn dragons, who was also up there fighting? What the hell are you doing, Tormund? Yeah. And I'm mad that they gave him that line, because Tormund is used to women warriors. There's no way he would just dismiss that so easily and just completely look at Jon like he's the only hero. Arya stabbed the Night King and y'all motherfuckers in here drinking for Jon. Mm-hmm. Are you serious?
And Tormund was on the dragon back too. It wasn't like it was a big thing. They all were on the dragon back.
You saw Dany come in and save your ass.
Yeah.
But you giving props to Jon for jumping on a fucking dragon. Shut the fuck up, Tormund. You know better than that.
Samri, I haven't heard from you in a little bit. I see you.
I'm just thinking about how she's right. How sad I am. It just, everything about the ending just was really upsetting to me. And I feel like Dan and Dave had something else they thought they were going to do. And then, COVID hit, so they can't do it. But they just like checked out in my mind, and just like everything that they set up, they didn't follow through. Like, obviously I'm a huge Arya fan, but I still didn't like the whole Arya Ex Machina thing. I think Jon should have gotten the kill. Mm-hmm. And I hated how Jon killed Dany. I just was like, I had thought that was what was going to happen from when I originally read the books way back when, but I didn't think it would happen like that. And I still don't think it'll happen like that in the books, if that makes sense.
Jon should have took a dagger out and stabbed Tyrion in the face when he started talking that fuck shit. If you really cared about her like you said you did, and you really want her to succeed, and you don't want the throne, and I don't want it, she's still my queen, gut the motherfucker that's talking shit right in front of you right now. It would be so easy. But no, you actually let that nonsense persuade you. Really? Tyrion's got a silver tongue, but he ain't that fucking good.
He's on death row. He's locked up. Why are you letting this guy on death row tell you what to do? It's not like he told you this before he was on death row. It wasn't like he told you this months prior before this when he was in Dany's good graces. All of a sudden, when he's about to get executed, now he needs a way out. Hey, you better kill her, Jon. You're the only one who could do it. And then all of a sudden, Jon's like, okay, you're right. You're right, Tyrion. You're right. Is Jon cool with Tyrion to that point where he could just trust whatever he says? I didn't see the relationship bond between them at all or anything like that for them to go that route with it. It truly doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make anything. I don't see how that helps the characters progress and anything. I know George ain't gonna do it like that. I guarantee it ain't gonna be done like that. But it was just stupid. And all the White Walkers. Why have all these White Walkers if they ain't gonna fight? Then none of them fought nobody. I wanted to see Brienne fight a White Walker. I wanted to see anyone who was selling Theon fight a White Walker. Like, let him fight. You know, let not this do this stupid charge that he's never done ever. We've never seen him use a spear and charge at somebody like that. Let him fight a White Walker, like let him get into a battle with a White Walker. I wanted to see everybody go head up with a White Walker. That's why I have all of them. And none of them at all went head up with a White Walker at all.
I mean, the whole Battle of Winterfell to me was like one epic failure after another. Like, I thought people died 5 or 6 times, and they were not dead, turns out, come end of episode or next episode or whatever. But
don't get me started on how many times.
No,
I was gonna say there was one death in there that actually fit, and I'm completely fine with the ending that they gave it, and it was Jorah's. I was gonna bring this up, Jorah's ending, because he did get to die doing his main goal, defending Dany. You know, that's what he was meant to do. That's all he was meant to do. He needed to stop touching shit, but he, that was what. I was fine with that. So, like, when I found out the topic tonight, that was one that came to mind. Like, whose ending am I completely fine with? And Jorah's in that end. Now, the build-up to Jorah, sketchy. But the ending, I loved that one. I will give that all.
One of the only ones that was good. And like, you see on
it
the
actually
screen,
made me sad.
Snaps and a rewind. So, Jorah gets the actual good, okay stamp from the Lord Commander.
He should have got some type of punani though.
He got the Dany lookalike in. He got the Dany lookalike back in Volantis. He got the punani on that, so he's fine.
He didn't deserve anything. Let's not pretend that Jorah.
Plus, he's been touching so much stuff. Can you imagine? I mean, okay, she died anyway, but still.
Let's not. He did some good shit at the end. He held his own. He did what he was supposed to do. He protected his queen. But let's not pretend he was a good guy. No,
not at all.
No quarter. You don't get the punani. Nah.
He should have got a little something, sniff it or something. He should have got some type of taste of it. The man done put in his work. I mean, when you put in that much work, you got to give the guy a little something.
Yeah, but
Sarah Charles, he was owed no ass. However, listen, the man was owed a little ass. I mean, maybe I'm not saying the full ass. Maybe he could have humped her. Maybe he could have did something.
Get a hand job.
Chrissy of Old Sosa sniffed it. Yes, maybe he could have sniffed it a little bit. Something. Give the man some pleasure before he goes out.
But on Dragonstone, he kind of relinquished that thought of. He became more of like an uncle or like a father figure to her. Like he said, okay, John. He gave John his sword back. Like. He was like, okay, I'm not gonna. He wasn't looking for that anymore. You know what I mean?
So, do you think that was a thing when he gave him the sword? Was like, okay, I'm done with my sword. You use your sword, type of thing.
Yeah. Maybe he needed a little Westerosi Viagra somewhere. They got some.
Maybe that grayscale kind of messed up some of the stuff. Some order.
And that crab. I mean, it be doing some things apparently.
He kind of just gave up a little bit there, but yeah.
Grayscale is supposed to make you like rock hard, right? Like,
see, that's not that's not the rock hard that you need, bro. No, not that one. Don't nobody want that.
Maybe after
not touching shit. No.
Maybe after he was done with the therapy, there was nothing left after the stuff was removed, and we don't know. So
yeah, we just not gonna think about that.
Sarah Charles, the monetization has been
it has sailed, my love.
That was gone like 5 minutes after I started talking.
That was going like 5 minutes right into the stream.
Yeah,
it was all over. So that's not happening, Sarah. But listen, give the man something.
Oh God,
that dirty bear. He's a dirty bear. Give the dirty bear a little something with a little honey in his hair. Put a little honey in his hair. Help that dirty bear out.
No. Even Glenn is hot. I would have liked to have seen him have some kind of, sex scene. Not with Dany necessarily, but
I'm sorry.
Like I said, you got the Dany look like in Volantis. He got the Dragon Queen in Volantis. That's what Tyrion's on with.
Glenn, he's one of those actors that is just way too pretty to be playing the character that he was put to. Is all I'm saying. When I think of Jorah, I'm still thinking about the half-bald, hairy-ass man from Bear Island in the books that's perving on a 13-year-old girl. No, I'm sorry, you don't get the punani on that, man. No,
I don't think he would have been satisfied. I don't think he would ever be satisfied with anything less than Dany.
He was always punching above his weight, though. You know, he shouldn't have even been able to marry the ex-wife that he did have, you know?
Yeah,
that should never happen. She's used to a certain level of life, and he's from this lowly house in the north. Not that the Northerners are bad. Y'all know I love the North. But Bear Island, if that's who you betrothed through, I'm sorry, ain't a whole lot of riches there, man. What did you expect? It makes sense that she left him as soon as they got to where Pentos, wherever the hell they went off to. Why did she marry him in the first place? Why did her family agree to that?
The honey train is close.
Sorry.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
Sorry. That is done.
Dirty ass bear.
Nah, man, nah.
But I'm saying that's different. You know, you look at him. It's like him and the guy. You know, and Charles Dance. You know, that's not the same person. But when you put him out there looking like that. You know, then you got like all right. Let's go back real quick. Like Brienne in the books.
Oh, way too pretty.
You can understand Jamie walking out and going back to Cersei, but when you look at
Gwendolyn Christie,
hey,
she a tall drink of water right there, boy.
Death by snoo all day long.
I will climb that tree all damn day. I'm not afraid to say it. Not sorry at all. Gwendolyn Christie, you are it, baby girl. I hope you know that.
She is, but those what she be wearing on the red carpet is a little outrageous. I've seen some of her outfits on the red carpet. I know what she's going for, but I think that's just a little too much. I think she's tone that down a little bit, girl. Tone that down a little. All right, we're gonna go into one more person, then we're out of here. All right, Lyanna Mormont. She'll be very fast. Lyanna Mormont. I love Lyanna Mormont. I did ever since she did her little speech and her little lip curl. Do you like that, Lyanna Mormont? What do you think?
So, love it.
I'm gonna say love it too, simply because I felt like her death was appropriate, and I love the way she went out.
I'm gonna just say that everybody that we saw on the show from Bear Island went out exactly the way they were supposed to. They some fighters, and every battle that they were in, how they were taken out, every last one of them was in a battle.
Loved it.
I'm here for it.
Bernie loved it.
I loved it too.
I loved it too. I listen. I don't want the little girl to die. No one wants a little girl to die.
You gotta be a little girl, and you gotta go out in Westeros, though.
I think she would have been offended if she would be called little girl. Like, who are you calling little girl?
She's a little girl. All right.
Well, she is. She's tiny.
You're gonna take a fucking giant that's like 20 times bigger than you.
Isn't that crazy? The smallest person, yeah, the youngest person, took the biggest.
So I got to give a little love to my good friend Felicia from Citadel. She hates Lyanna Mormont because not necessarily, but because she gets the Wyman Manderley speech. She gets the North Remember speech over Wyman Manderley, and she loves Wyman Manderley, and I get that. I understand that. And I can respect that. But at the same time, she was a girl that literally was brought in for one scene in season 6. Mm-hmm. And she made an entire 2-season career out of that one scene because she was that badass of an actress.
Mind you, that was her first acting job.
Oh,
yeah. This was her first role ever being on screen, and she nailed that shit. And the fandom loved her so much they had to keep her around.
Yep.
Yes. And so her ending was completely fitting, and just it was perfect. She went out like a warrior. She went out like a bear, and she went out doing it. Now, remind me, her eyes opened up when the Night King rewoken, right?
Yes.
Like when okay, so I'm okay with that. Hers and Ed's, I'm okay with that. They got rewoken up. I'm glad we didn't get the killing of Whited, Ed and Lyanna. We did. They just left it at that, and they all just fell, kind of thing. I'm fine with that ending.
I'm glad we didn't get the Whited killing of Summer and Hodor.
Yeah.
I was
Yes.
scared the whole damn episode that I was
wanted that.
Hodor, and I was like, no, please do not let Hodor or
That would have
Summer
been awesome. That would have been so awesome.
I wanted to see that. It would have been awful.
And I'm not going to
Yeah.
disagree on that.
Elamar, you suck.
No, it would have been good to see,
I am
but
not
I
sorry,
would
but
have
I
tried.
loved it.
No. I wasn't ready. It's not because I didn't think it would be good. I just wasn't ready. It's still too soon. I can't. No.
I wanted to see him, or I wanted to see Leaf. I know she got blown to bits, so you couldn't.
Yeah.
I want to see everybody as a white.
As a
I'm
white.
not saying that I predicted that Lyanna Mormont would have came back as a white and got killed. I did, but I'm not saying that right now. But what I'm saying is that I love that little bear. Why can't we get her at Kind of Thrones? She should be gotten. Bring her in. I love Kind of Thrones. I love everyone they bring in. But why can't we bring in little Lyanna?
I mean, they had little Shireen there a couple years, didn't they?
And little Hodor.
She's been there. And I think they should have definitely showcased that. They showcased Jamie and some of the bigger characters, but they didn't really showcase what's her name, Karen something or other. I don't remember. Logo that played Shireen. No.
Oh, okay.
Jamie was the biggest they got so far.
Yeah.
Jamie.
Well, last year they had Bran. Last year's
who really gives a fuck about Bran that much?
I mean, they had Bran, they had Gilly, they had who else was there? There was a couple.
Gendry there last year.
Gendry.
Yeah, they had Gendry. Yeah, I saw Gendry there.
Yeah,
Gilly wasn't there last year, right? She wasn't there last year. She was there the year before. With Gendry, because she's having sex with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, that's what I heard. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I heard. You know what I mean? But she was there. But I would have rather. I'd like to see the little bear there. Yeah. Would I take a picture with her for that amount of money? I don't know, but it would be debatable. Because she is who I don't want to see it when she's not the little bear and she's a grown ass woman. I need to see it while she's still little like that. When she gets big, it's not going to be the same thing. I need to see her.
Yeah, and I think that depends on what roles that I might see her take on. Like little Shireen. She has done a few other things that they've been smaller roles, so I don't think a lot of people have noticed. But one of the biggest roles that I've seen her in is she played Boudica's daughter on the History Channel's rendition of Barbarians a couple years ago, and they did Boudica and Hannibal and two other of the really big barbarians that were going up against Rome, the Roman Empire back in the day, and she was fierce playing that little role. She wasn't on screen that much, but pretty much everybody that had died on Game of Thrones at that point was in the Barbarian series, and they all knocked it out of the park. But I just think we need to not forget these little actors that be in here. Shireen is great, and I hope that we see little Lady Mormont in some other things. I think she has a good future ahead of her if she has a good agent that markets her correctly.
I want to see her in Kind of Thrones.
Yep.
That's what I want to see. I hope her career goes great, but I'm talking about Kind of Thrones.
Oh, for sure.
I think she's gettable. She should be gettable.
She should
be here in Kind of Thrones. I would like to see her there.
To AK's point, I would love to see her in a live action show of The Last of Us as
yes.
That was Arya's role. That was Arya.
It would have been, but Arya's aged out of it now.
Macy
she can still do it.
You know who I really would have loved to see Macy play? Alita Battle Angel. If half of that movie was actual real life, and then another part of it was CG. If they would have picked a real life actor to play that role, it should have been Macy Williams.
Yeah.
We are out of here right now. Listen, we went through just about, I don't think there's a couple maybe we missed. We went through about a bunch of people. It's been 2.5 hours. So we have to get up out of here, people. Thank y'all for joining us. We're going to go through everybody, and they're going to tell you what they're up to and everything else. Sam Rixian is going to tell you she's making a blood raisin shirt. But before that, we're going to go through everybody, before she tells you that and everything else. We're going to go through everybody and see what it is. So here we go. Benji.
Yes, sir. So I'm Benji Sly with Drawbridge Media on YouTube, the podcast that.com family. We do a bunch of different podcasts. We have Game of Thrones, which is kind of on hiatus for right now. Stephen King, Harry Potter, a couple other smaller ones. You can find us on Drawbridge Media on YouTube. You can find us at thepodcastthat.com. Basically, we're the fan. The reason we went to Drawbridge Media, the name change, was basically we lowered the bridge to combine all our fandoms. We're nerds about everything: Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, all of it, Harry Potter, and we'll reference everything. So if you're a fan of that, come check us out. We appreciate it. Thank you, Tony, for having me on. I really appreciate it. It means the world to me. So thank you all. Have a good night.
Nice. And Rixian.
All right. Yeah. I'm Sanrixian. You guys can find me on Twitter at Sanrixian. And I have episode 2 of Illumination coming out with Bernie, who's right down there. Probably tomorrow or the next day, depending on how quick I can edit it. And it's on Eurovision. So if you guys haven't seen that on Netflix, just wait until we give you the overview and then you can go watch it, I promise.
Or don't watch it and just let us tell you about it. That. I'm just going to hop on with her because we're the same thing. It's at Illumination Twitter. I'm at Burn1Down on Twitter. And hey, we'll watch it for you. You can just listen to us talk about it.
That's Illumination on YouTube too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How do you spell that? So people know in the chat.
ALUM.
For them.
Yeah, Chrissy just put the link out there for you.
Yep.
Thank you, Chrissy.
Yep. Chrissy's on it.
Yeah.
As always.
You won't know. I put it out there, right? Definitely check them out. Definitely, you know what I mean? Subscribe to their channel and thumbs up to it. I'm thank y'all, I'm not gonna go into it or anything, but I personally thank both of y'all, for sticking up for me a couple of weeks ago, whatever. I really, truly do appreciate that. Don't think that Don doesn't, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't have been able to get through that if it wasn't for y'all really having my back on that. So truly do appreciate that.
No problem.
Yeah,
we just gonna act like AK didn't speak up and say nothing either.
Hey, we coming to you. All right now. Let the people know. I know we can find you on Joe the Magician next week.
For sure.
About Arya Hota.
Yes, y'all know I got, Joe gave me the choice of like 2 or 3 different characters, and I had to go with Aryo, because he's one of those, least talked about characters in a lot of different arenas. And I think his background is cool, and there's some tinfoil to be talked about when it comes to why he's even in Dorne with Dorne. So me and Joe gonna get into that. I hope y'all tune in next weekend. In a couple days, Monday, me and Nessie from the Here Be Dragons channel, we're supposed to be talking about Sphinxes, but I think we're gonna reschedule that. So just stay tuned and sub to her channel for that one. It'll be coming up.
That one's called The Unspun Yarn. Nessie's channel. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Sanri. I know it'll be probably another month or so, but me and Gray are also going to jump on and talk about one of the Arya chapters coming up soon. That will be on her channel. I might be able to pull together a tinfoil stream before the month is out, so stay tuned. Like I always tell y'all, you will see me on other people's channels a lot quicker than you'll see me on my own. So sub to all of my peoples, also sub to me, but sub to all of my peoples if you looking for me and trying to see what's going on. And also, recently Monero had to take a break because she had a death in her family that she had to take care of. So that's why we weren't on this weekend with our regular nerd stream that we've been doing with the Mad Queens. I do believe we'll be back either next weekend or the weekend after that. So stay tuned. Sub to Monero Geek TV for those streams. We just got done with The Expanse, and we'll be moving on to a couple other things very soon. Besides that, I think that's all I have. That's already.
There's one other that I forgot to mention, but you're also our newest member of it. You can see myself, AK, Chrissy Volstones, and Felicia hosting Citadel Trivia next Friday night. We don't have a topic. Probably have some Game of Thrones specific questions. We usually do.
Yes,
but
that's one of the. You're correct. Thank you for reminding me of that. 52 pickup is what our segment of the Citadel Trivia stream is called, and it's nothing that's ever concrete. We all do different subjects that we love and pull into things. And the most recent subject that I have decided to tackle is epic rap battles of history. So if you go to my channel, there is a study guide playlist on there, because if y'all know that channel, they have like 100+ videos that they've done. I didn't want to do that to y'all. So go to my channel, check out the ERB playlist. It is labeled 452 pickup. And those are where my questions will come from if you want to come and get some good points. So check
I'm
that
thinking
out.
some Harry Potter for myself. Just
Yeah.
put it out there.
That's my study guide. I don't know what everybody else is going to bring to. So just remember, we are well-rounded nerds around here. When you come to 52 pickup, you're liable to be asked about anything. Just saying. And thank you again, Tony, for having me on. I appreciate it, man.
No
thanks,
doubt.
Tony. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you, Tony.
No doubt about it. Elamar is the one who actually set this all up. I told her who she wanted on for her to put the people in. She picked all y'all. Well, not that I wouldn't have. I'm giving the credit, but she's the one who asked for all y'all to come on here. So
Oh, thank you,
Elamar.
Thank you,
I really
Elamar.
appreciate that.
We
You
love
are
you.
very welcome. I wish I could have more. It's just that I wanted everybody. There's not enough spaces, and then we would not be able to talk. So hopefully there will be more streams like that. So I would love that. Yeah. As far as for me, you can find me here on Tony's channel, because right now my channel is sitting quiet because life and busyness and all that stuff. And like AK said, I guess I will be able to be more visible on other people's. Ooh, wow, thunderstorm. I hate those. I'm gonna be scared tonight. Anyway, on other people's channels, as a guest, and of course in the chat. So that's where I'm at.
that is what's up. You can find it here on the Teflon TV Laying Down podcast. You'll be getting up with that. I was gonna say something to you, Bernie, but I'm starting to forget what I was going to say.
Uh-oh.
I was going to
Don't
say
you hate when
something.
that
no.
happens?
I was going to say something, but I forgot what I was going to say. So I'm going to let it go right now. The Don Tony Teflon. You can find me here, Teflon TV. I got a bunch of videos coming out all week long, so I don't know how I'm going to really make these. Got a video coming out with Bridge 4 and Gray Area. 3 videos we're dropping on the Pink Letter. I think that's this Thursday. Got a video on why Tyrion is not the third head of the dragon. That should drop on Monday. Got a bunch of things. Oh, I was going to say, Bernie, do you have like a page where you sell stuff at or no?
Well, I have a Facebook page, Bernadette Lang Artist, and I have some prints that I sell off of that if you message me on that. But I don't have like a shop. No.
That's what I'm gonna do then. I'm gonna do. I need you to get a shop. We need a shop going. We're gonna do a Lady in the Dawn giveaway. The next Lady in the Dawn giveaway. We're going to give away $50 to Sam Rixian for all y'all in the chat. Whoever wins, we'll get $50. We'll probably put it out in, I don't know. Maybe we'll do it in like $10 a pop to Sam Rixian's channel. Thing so you can go there and buy it, and we'll do $50 for Bernie. She beat me in the bet, so she deserves it.
Oh, that's right.
What bet was this? Wait a minute.
I bet you, Tony, motherfuckers.
People need
We're gonna give away $100. We'll do $100. We'll do 50 on Sam Rixian. We'll do 50 on. We'll do a laying down giveaway and give that away. We'll do that very soon. It's not gonna take a long for us to do it. We'll get that up. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can win your chance to get some Sam Rixian stuff and everything else, and have Bernie draw you some stuff to hit her up and all that stuff.
I have some prints. They're worth $10 a piece, so that's perfect. We can do that.
It. So
We got this.
We do 5 of those and everything else. So that's what we're gonna do. Giving that money away to these ladies because they deserve it. Thank you all for joining me and Elamar on this live stream, and to everybody else in the chat. And it's like the way you do this, please thumbs up this, please spread this across the realm, and please subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace.
Peace.
And stay sexy.
Black Lives Matter.